Now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from NoDQ.com.
NoDQ Galaxy, here we are with the NoDQ review number 50. Aaron Rift, I can't believe we've done this 50 times. Now, I know I missed a couple when some El Virtuoso guy filled in for me, but I've been here for most of them. And of course, now we also have Big G, TJS, of course, Aaron Rift, the Elite Team. What's up, everyone? Big G, you're wearing that shirt. I'll start with you.
I'm doing great. Had a good day at work today. Enjoyed SmackDown Live, and now I'm glad to be part of the NoDQ Review Elite Team, and think I've done at least a good 15 to 20 episodes with you guys. So glad to be here. Let's get this thing started. TJS, how you doing, mister?
I'm doing all right. 50, isn't that the number of DX reunions? Sounds
Or
right.
NWO groups.
Or Shield reunions.
Yeah. It seems like it. I'm doing good though. I'm the WrestleMania road is quite clear. So really looking forward to it. WrestleMania always excites me, even though sometimes it doesn't deliver. It's still you get excited for it because it's once a year. So it is what it is. Aaron, what's up, man?
I'm doing well. I'm excited for the video today, episode number 50 of the No DQ review, and we got WrestleMania coming up in less than 4 weeks. We got plenty of topics. I think that this is a great week to have episode 50 with a lot to talk about, so I say let's go ahead and get started.
All right, well, let's get this out of the way, right? Because we're past Fastlane and we're going onto the road to WrestleMania. But last second thoughts on Fastlane, anything that happened on Fastlane that maybe trickled into Raw and SmackDown. Big G, I'll talk with you. One thing that I take away from Fastlane that I really enjoyed was the Shane McMahon turn. I was so confused with them together because I hated it. I didn't know, are they going to keep them together? Are they going to go to WrestleMania's tag champs? Is Miz going to turn on Shane? And then part of me said, what if Shane turned on Miz? But I didn't expect that. And so I was kind of pleasantly surprised, especially where they did it, because it was in Cleveland. Miz was sporting the Browns colors. Yep. Well done. I think that was the best part of the show.
I enjoyed Fastlane. I did like that part too. I think me and you had talked about it on Virtue's Rage before this all started with Miz and Shane. We were debating, who's going to turn Miz or Shane or Miz. And, we haven't seen Shane being a heel since, 2007-ish? When he was with his dad in Umaga at the time with against Lashley, I believe it was, for the ECW title.
And who is in Lashley's corner?
Yeah, who?
Who is in Lashley's corner?
I'll tell you who.
Go ahead, TJS. Who was in his corner?
The President of the United States.
That's right.
That's right. I
Wait
forgot
a minute.
about it.
Wait a minute. And the heels were the McMahons, Shane, and Umaga? Imagine that. Just crazy.
Yeah, I know,
crazy
right?
what time does. All right, go ahead.
I did enjoy the WWE title match. We all kind of figured that they were going to crap on it because Kofi wasn't in it. But then they did everything they could to get the crowd into it, and eventually they did a little bit. Trying to think what else I enjoyed.
What did
I think
you
that was
grade
pretty
it?
much it. Oh, I mean, obviously the Shield reunion, but, we all like that. So those are my thoughts. TJS, what do you think about Fastlane?
Big G, real quick, what grade did you give it? I can't remember.
I didn't really give it a grade. If anything, maybe a B-.
Okay.
Being generous.
Well,
TJS.
a lot of stuff changed on this show. And it seems like this is becoming a pattern for the change at the last minute within WWE. Thought it was a good show. I mean, there wasn't a match on the show that I didn't like. Besides maybe Asuka versus Mandy. That was just a really awkward match, like Aaron said, with the whole ring apron thing. But I think Sonya made a mistake. Maybe checked the wrong side of the ring for the kendo stick. Not sure, but the Shane turn was good. I liked it a lot. The one gripe that I had with it, though, was Ronda coming out there and hitting Becky, because, like I said 1,000 times, Ronda's a heel. She shouldn't be giving the fans what they want. She shouldn't come out there and punch Becky. And people are like, oh, well, the logic is she wants to beat Becky Lynch up. Well, didn't she already do that? And why did she just come out there and punch her once? Why didn't she beat the hell out of her if she wanted to beat her up so bad? That was the chance. It doesn't make sense to me. I'm sure we'll get into it. And with Mustafa Ali, I think they really spoiled his return because they did it on SmackDown Live. I think it would have been better if he just showed up at the special event, because everyone was like, oh, Mustafa Ali's back. Out of sight, out of mind, I think. So if you would have just had him pop up at Fastlane, maybe he would have gotten a bigger pop, and maybe the crowd wouldn't have crapped all over the match.
What grade did you give the show, TJS?
I'll give it B-, I think. I really enjoyed the WWE title match in the main event. But
what about the Fatal 4-Way for the U.S. title, man? I know we saw it on SmackDown that Tuesday before, but I think they did a pretty good job again on Sunday as well.
I don't know why we saw that match twice, though. It really bugs me when WWE does this. But whatever. I mean,
they got to get everybody on the card, so.
Now, Aaron Rift, no one's really not celebrating, but saying, man, that was a great last hurrah for the Shield. What do you think on this whole thing, man?
Well, because I think people are going to presume that the Shield will, in fact, compete again. Although it looks like Ambrose is leaving. Based off of Raw this week, he was what looked to be written off the show when he got beat in that no DQ match against Dean Ambrose. Looks like he's done. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe he will sign a new deal. I mean, his contract isn't up till the end of April, so there's still time for something to be worked out. But as of right now, it looks like he's done. But I think fans are still skeptical that he's really leaving the company. And they're like, you know what? We've already seen like half a dozen Shield reunions, and there'll probably be another one at some point. It was a really nice ending to the pay-per-view, I thought. Very emotional moment. But at the same time, some of us are skeptical of it, and we're not convinced that it is going to be the last time we see the Shield compete in a WWE ring. I would be surprised if it was really the last time.
They did a really good job on selling it on commentary, though. Like, Cole was like, this is the last time you're going to see this, guys. And then, I don't know, I felt like this would be the last time because they embraced after the match and they looked like they were crying, and I don't know.
Well, it has a lot to do with once in a lifetime. Then we got him again next year with Rock and Cena. End of an era, and then Triple H and Taker ended up wrestling, not against each other, but in several manias after that. It's just the WWE way. And fans today don't want to be tricked. And we know how that goes. So, Aaron, yeah, I know you've already talked about your Fastlane stuff over and over again. What grade did you give it again? I forgot.
I think a B minus.
B minus, and that I did too. So we are all in unison. Yes, and that's what it was. It was just a lead into WrestleMania. So Roman is back in action, right? He had a singles match on Raw, and it looks like now he's going to be in a program against Drew McIntyre, and they'll probably get a Mania match. I really think he shouldn't be so physical coming back from leukemia like this. I get the Shield reunion, but I really would have let them build his return up to maybe after Mania, at least singles. Well, so what does everybody think about that? I like Drew. I think this will help elevate Drew because he's never really been given a good push in WWE. And let's face it, if you go against Roman on Mania, we're at the point, people. I know you. A lot of you still don't like Roman, right? Especially for headlining 4 straight Manias. McIntyre's going to get the Roman Reigns Mania rub. So TGS, what do you think with that, man? If it happens,
I think it's going to. And I remember you saying that. They should make Roman look vulnerable, like a little weaker since he's returned, to kind of build up his, just to sell the whole thing. It seems like that's what they're doing. Drew McIntyre laid him out, and if this was Roman Reigns of old, he would have gotten up from those claymores with no problem. But it seems like they are trying to make us sympathize with Roman, even though. I mean, he's not really getting booed anymore, so I guess they're they're just trying to build up McIntyre, I think, and I think they did a damn good job. I mean, he had a really good match with Ambrose on Raw, and he beat up Roman, so I think that already has elevated him because before he was just in the faction with Lashley and Corbin. And he was just whatever, like a side character. And now I feel like he's reestablished as, the Scottish psychopath, whatever. I think it'll be a good match, though. I was kind of expecting maybe Drew McIntyre to face Braun, but we know that's not happening. We see where Braun's going. But Drew versus Roman, I'm fine with it. It'll definitely be a hard-hitting match. And I'm okay with what they're doing so far. So we'll see what happens. Big G, what do you think about this whole thing?
Well, I like how they set it up last night if they are going to have a match at Mania. Like we all said, trying to make Roman look vulnerable after his fight with leukemia. And, you had Dean and Seth check on him after the match and take him to the trainer's room and say, hey, you need to get looked at. Like you said, the old Roman Reigns probably would have taken one Claiborne kick and he would have gotten right up, even after 2 Claiborne kicks, I'm glad they're not pushing Roman back into the main event spot right now. This is Seth's time. Give it a year or so, and then maybe I can see them putting Roman back into the main event picture, possibly with Seth or even with Lesnar if he's still around, but I hope not. Anyway, that's what I think. Aaron, what do you think about all of this?
Well, I think Virtue made a great point about Drew McIntyre on Raw and Roman Reigns, that whole angle. I think that was probably the most we've ever seen Roman sell from a move in his entire career. And yeah, it does look like that's going to be the direction for WrestleMania, where the idea is going to be that maybe Roman came back too soon and should have waited a little bit longer. But I suspect that Roman will pick up the victory at WrestleMania. It's his first big event back. Yeah, they did the Fastlane match, but I think Roman's going to win. And like I said before, I think Brock's going to beat Seth Rollins, and we're going to get Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar again.
And I kind of like that, Big G, they're not pushing Roman. as easy as that could be, especially with the way Vince McMahon's character is, right?
Yeah.
Putting Roman in a match against Brock and Rollins, if they did that, the heat for Roman would be right back because they would think he's taking Rollins' opportunity. So I like this. And if Roman has to look vulnerable for a while, good. And against Drew, maybe he won't get booed for a while. So right on. How about the host of WrestleMania, Alexa Bliss? Now, I know she's been hurt a lot, right? Concussions, whatever her issues are. And she's not bad on the mic. She's given crappy material. Wouldn't you want the host, though, to be like a larger-than-life type person? Like The Rock did it before, like Austin, somebody like that. I'm just shocked. Aaron, is this just a one-segment thing for Mania for Alexa Bliss to say she's the host? And then she doesn't do anything the rest of the show?
I hope so. I feel like it's pretty much just an excuse to get her on the show. And what I thought was lame was the video package on SmackDown. Like, they're playing this epic music like this is the biggest thing of all time. And I'm just shaking my head at the whole thing. I feel like it's only happening to give her a spot at WrestleMania. No other reason for it. So, yeah, I really have nothing else to say about it. I'm surprised.
Why not Paige?
I got a bone to pick with you. How is this even worthy enough for episode 50?
It's Alexa.
Because it's the host of WrestleMania. Dude, Aaron, listen. You want to get me going because this is episode 50? Just because you don't like topics such as, and we're going to talk about it again, Dave Bautista versus Paul Levesque, and you don't like Alexa Bliss, doesn't mean that other people out there don't like to talk about them. The fact is, Alexa, which is what I'm questioning, has been given the spot at Mania, which is what I'm questioning because it's the grand stage.
Well,
people want to know our thoughts. Bring back Stone Cold for that spot, or Elias with the guitar the whole time. I'm just saying. It's a topic of discussion, Aaron. Thanks for rattling.
You know what kind of topic it is? It's a sub 3K views topic.
Like some of your standard NoDQ&A videos get 2.8. It's the topics, Aaron. But I'm saying Aaron's consistent. These shows are some of the best on Aaron's channel. Of course, his lives are the best, right? People love going in there and chatting live after Raw and SmackDown. So don't question. How about this? Review 51, Aaron. You come up with the topics, and we want to see what it drops.
Well, I hope next week they have a damn good Raw, so I have something we can use.
Hey, every show needs filler. WWE's taught us well.
Yes.
All right, who's next? Who hasn't chimed in on this?
Look, I have a problem talking about Alexa Bliss all night. That's fine. Anyway, you guys, I think it was 2012 when The Rock hosted WrestleMania. When they were building it up for weeks, and then the lights all went out, and then they came on, and The Rock came out, and it's like, oh yeah, that's right, The Rock hosting WrestleMania. And now it's like, oh, Alexa Bliss, look, I'm hosting. I don't know. I think Elias would have been a better choice. You should have just kept him babyface and then had him play like a song every 3 or 4 matches. And I think that would have been really entertaining because, let's face it, where do you think Elias is going to be on the card? The Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal?
If that.
Yeah.
If they even have it.
Yeah. I'm sure the New Day hosted WrestleMania, and I thought they did a good job. But
Hogan?
Like I said, it's just an excuse to get them on the show. Alexa Bliss isn't injured as far as I know because she wrestled at a house show that I went to a few weeks ago, and apparently
she did, huh? A full match?
Oh yeah. She worked it, and
that's an EC3 cover right there, but that's all right.
No, anyway, yeah, and apparently she's been working the house shows. Maybe it's just that WWE doesn't have confidence in her yet to get her back on TV wrestling. I mean, she was in the Rumble, but maybe they're worried that she's injury prone, so they're just going to test her out on the house shows, see what happens. And they want her on the card because, let's face it, Bliss was a big name for a while. I mean, it felt like she was the Raw Women's Champion for 6 months.
She won a Money in the Bank, cashed it in. I mean, I don't know why Aaron's discrediting her so well, just because he doesn't like her, you know.
She was a huge.
She's a hottie. Yeah.
You're right about that, man.
How many views did that picture of her holding something over her chest in the locker room get? 4 million?
Hey, it's 2019. We're not supposed to think women look hot anymore.
Half of those were probably from me.
You're objectifying women, TJS.
Oh, well.
Well, you did bring up Hogan. And so let's talk about Harlem Heat.
Whoa. I didn't get to throw my 2 cents in.
Oh, you didn't on Alexa? I swear you did.
No, I didn't.
It was rushing me along so much. Go ahead.
All right. So I'm just going to keep it short and sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind Alexa being the host for WrestleMania. Maybe she'll get more than one segment like the New Day did. I think they got like 2 or 3. But I think all entirety, they should just get rid of the host of WrestleMania. There's really no point for it. They just come out and say, welcome to WrestleMania, da-da-da-da-da. You do this segment, and then that's all you see of them. So I'm fine with Alexa. You know, like TJ has said, I guess they're just keeping her off TV for right now. And that's all I got to say. So what would Harlem Heat next?
Just continue right into Harlem Heat. So what's your thoughts on them being inducted as a tag team out? That puts Booker T in twice.
Yeah.
Which, good for him, I guess, if there was actual
Harlem Heat going in there. I did kind of watch WCW when I was younger, so I did see some of their matches, and of course with the network, you can watch all their matches on there. They're what, 10-time WCW Tag Team Champions?
I know it's a lot.
So good for them. You know, like you said, Booker T gonna be a 2-time Hall of Famer along the Nature Boy Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels.
And Triple H. No, I'm sorry.
Triple H will be like a 5-time WWE Hall of Famer before he's dead.
Yeah.
So not much else to say, you know. Just good for them, good for Booker, good for Stevie Ray. Let's go with Aaron. What do you think?
I think they're a good choice. They had a solid run in WCW. However, there are other teams that I feel should be in ahead of them that are not in. Biggest example would be the Steiner brothers. Where are they? What about the Outsiders, Hall and Nash? What about the NWO? I know they're a faction, but still, there's some other teams I'd rather see in the Hall of Fame than those guys. But, you know, Harlem Heat had a really solid run. They had some memorable matches. I don't really remember any of them, but they were a presence in WCW for several years during the hottest period in the company. So there you go. TJS?
If they were a presence in WCW, why are they going into the WWE Hall of Fame?
Exactly. I think it's a power thing with Vince because he bought WCW. You know what I mean? I really do, because like Aaron made a good point. You had tag teams that the characters were in WWE more at one point in their careers.
It's
and
like
they put the WCW tag team. I know Booker was in WWE, but really his accomplishments were mostly in WCW, and it's just weird. I wonder how Vince does that when he makes those decisions every year.
Look at Sting. What did he do in his WWE career? Lost to Triple H? I mean, come on. I guess Triple H's logic is like, you lost to me. That's such an honor. You go in the Hall of Fame. Anyway, with Harlem Heat going in, whatever, I guess. As time goes on, I just care less and less about the Hall of Fame. It's crazy. And if you look at 2-time Hall of Famers, you think Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels now and Booker T. I mean, those names are not really in the same ballpark, I don't think. But I do wish Booker T would come back to the commentary table. I miss him out there instead of Renee Young. That's about all I have to say about that.
All right. Well, you know, speaking of things that just people don't care about anymore, the Intercontinental and the United States Championships. Let's be honest here. The WWE title is the workhorse title these days. I mean, even though it doesn't get the main event love, and we're going to talk about that it used to, I really feel that the WWE title is what the IC title of the late 80s, early 90s felt like. You know what I mean? And that was a great title back then. It was prestigious because when you had that title, you were just right there towards the top. And
Yeah.
they let or Warrior versus Hogan, title for title. But today's IC and US, I think it's just a redundancy of titles because of the brand split. And they're hot potatoing them. I mean, the IC, Lashley lost the Finn, then wins it back from him. The U.S. title, and help me out here because I'm already confused.
Yeah.
R-Truth. Who had it before R-Truth? Rusev? Nakamura?
Nakamura.
Both of them,
Yeah.
right? Then
Yeah.
R-Truth and now Joe, and it's just like, yeah. So what's everybody think? Aaron, I'm going to start with you because I know you say combine them. Let's make one title. Let's just make the Intercontinental Championship. What do you think with this hot potato?
Not a fan of it. Like you said, it's hard to keep track of who the champions are. I could not tell you the U.S. champions of 2018. I don't know. I mean, I would guess Rusev was in there somewhere and a few other people. I think AJ was champion in 2017. Him and Owens feuded for it, but I really don't remember much of the U.S. championship feuds over the past several years. So, yeah, I mean, you just said it. I say take the two titles, merge them, just have the IC champion appear on both shows and bring some more prestige back to the championship. At least save one of them. I don't think you could save both of them at this point, but at least one of them can be prestigious a little bit. But even then, it'll probably still be like the match that barely gets on the main card. The IC title might struggle. It might get the opening match, but I think the days of it being towards the top of the card are over. The WWE title is basically, like you said, in that role. But Big G, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it either. I think it was Nakamura, then Rusev, and then I think Nakamura run it back or something like that. Then R-Truth, and then Joe. Or yeah, it's all confusing when
It
the
is. I mean, it gives me a headache. I mean, it's trivia
And,
stuff for Greg Cherry at this point.
Yeah, and like you said, Finn Balor's a stupid babyface for getting distracted on Raw. Don't pay attention to Leo Rush. Pay attention to your match. And so that was a stupid way of him losing it again. And just merge them, Like you said, Aaron, I don't know what else to say. Hopefully when SmackDown goes to Fox and if they end the brand split, maybe they'll get rid of some titles and, like we all said, unite them. So we'll see what happens. WrestleMania is right around the corner. Are we going to have fatal four-ways for both US and IC titles, at this point?
Get everybody on the card.
I know we know all wrestling is fake and they're props, but
wait, ooh, you can't. That's bigger. Fake? Did you say wrestling is fake? All right.
Ooh, you're in trouble there, buddy.
We'll come back to that.
So that's all I have to say, TJS.
Well, I think that it's fine to have two mid-card titles. I think that the world titles need to be merged. So that way you have one world champion appearing on both shows, and then you just have the mid-card champions on either show. And I feel like maybe WWE is going to go in that direction because we have the women's tag titles being defended across all three brands. That's unprecedented if you think about it. So perhaps we're finally going to get some merging, but I don't think it's going to happen. I feel like this hot potato stuff is just WWE wanting us to believe that anything could happen in WWE. You can lose the title just like that, or whatever. I just miss long title reigns. I really want Daniel Bryan to hold the title for a really long time.
Oh, we will be talking about that tonight. Believe me.
Yeah. So, not much else.
All right. Well, Kurt Angle came out on Raw this week and said that, like we expected, he's going to have his last match at Mania. And we know how that goes. I mean, Flair and Michaels, and then Flair still went to TNA. But if a tree falls in the forest and no one's around to hear it, doesn't make a sound. So, Big G, who do you think can give Kurt Angle, and we know it's not going to be a barn burner. Kurt's older, he's slower.
Yeah.
I think some of us have an idea of who it's going to be, but who's he going to face at Mania? Or will it just be like an Apollo Crews and something stupid like on the kickoff show?
Well,
I'm serious.
I know, I believe you. If it is gonna be his retirement match, it might be like towards like the middle of the show. You know, like I'm gonna use a baseball reference here, like a seventh inning stretch. You know, something just like a cool off match, pretty much. I'm gonna take Aaron's idea because he's probably thinking this too, but I think probably John Cena. You know, Cena did come out for his first match against Kurt Angle, so it would be fitting for Kurt Angle to have his final match in WWE.
And Angle won that match, didn't he?
Yes, he did. And then after the match, Cena was like, this close. I almost beat you this close. So it'll come for full circle. So TJS, what do you think?
I think that it could be John Cena, but we also have to remember that Undertaker has no clear spot on this card either.
Whoa! Nobody cares about the Undertaker anymore. The man is done.
Ooh.
Okay.
That would be a tough sell to me, not because it's Taker. And I want you to explain. I just think I mean, we all know how Taker looked in his last match. I'm just saying, man. Cena at least has a little bit of energy left in him.
If it was Kurt Angle and Undertaker, you could do like Walker on a pole match or something. I think that maybe we're gonna get Jason Jordan versus Kurt Angle. I don't know. Like, so that way Kurt can be like, oh, I wrestled my son in my last match. I'm not a fan of it.
You're joking, right?
I don't want that to happen, but it wouldn't shock me. I wanted to bring this up too. So you guys remember last year when Cena was like, oh, there's no spot for me on the WrestleMania card. There was nothing I can do to have a match. But Kurt Angle just comes out and he's like, I'm having a match at WrestleMania. So why?
That's a good point. That's a great point.
Continuity, man. It doesn't happen. Anyway.
So, I mean, anything else you want to chime in about that?
I wanted to say I'm glad that Kurt is self-aware of not being himself in that ring anymore. He's definitely a lot slower, and he's not even really that old. Well, he's 50.
Yeah.
I feel like he's in good shape, but he's so slow now. Anyway.
Father Time. So, Aaron, I do like that Cena possibility. What would you think if they did that match? And, the best part about their feud from before is when they did the rap battles and stuff. Would you pop if Cena came out as the Thugonomics to face Kurt Angle in Kurt's last match? I think that would be, to do a little rap about Kurt's career, I think that'd be at WrestleMania entertaining. What do you think, man?
I actually like that idea a lot. It would be a nice throwback because Cena actually wasn't even that character yet, but it would be something different for him to come out. At the very least, I like that idea of a rap battle or just something fun to set up the WrestleMania match, other than the usual John Cena comes out promo, and I guess he's going to get his WrestleMania match this year if he faces Kurt Angle. If he doesn't show up, like last year he made such a big deal out of it, where is he now? But I suppose he'll show up next week. I mean, next week's Raw, I would think, would be the show where they pull the trigger on whatever Kurt's match is going to be, because it's in Chicago, going to be that red hot crowd. That's going to be where you want to get all these WrestleMania matches set in stone. So if Cena doesn't show up next week, or Undertaker or somebody, then
CM Punk, duh.
There you go.
Who? Who's that?
Who?
That's some guy who used to work for WWE back like in the 1980s, 1990s?
Probably. But it seems like they're going in like a farewell tour angle. No pun intended with this. So I guess he's just going to have a series of matches leading up to WrestleMania. And then that's going to be the final match.
So we will see who he faces at Mania. And hopefully it's something decent, like John Cena. Aaron, last week we did the Fastlane preview and prediction, so I don't really think we talked about Dave versus Paul. And everybody knows your stance on this match. This is one of the ratings killers Aaron was talking about, because it's 2019. It's not what people want. The fact Triple H, I kind of wonder why he always has to have the spotlight at Mania. And to me, he should just do his thing with NXT, help with creative. It's just Triple H feels he's got to be out there to get his entrance. So, Aaron, you said that, and I believe you. I mean, I agree with you on this, that Randy Orton and AJ had a better promo tonight than Batista and Triple H last night. You want to elaborate on that?
Well, I just think AJ and Orton, they made some nice digs at each other. They spoke well for the most part. I think Orton flubbed a line or two, but overall, I thought it was a nice back and forth between them. With Triple H and Batista, I thought it was just awkward because Batista kept asking the question, and Triple H is just there like, I'm not going to give you this opportunity, and I'm not going to listen to you. Even though on the previous week's Raw, Triple H said that he would give Batista whatever he wanted, and then Batista just keeps repeating himself, "Give me what I want," and they kept repeating it, and I'm like, Triple H knew this already. Like everyone knows this is what Batista wants, and they didn't even really elaborate much about it. Like Triple H just essentially said that Batista quit, and I don't even know.
Did you see that loogie that Batista spit on the mic? Like Spatista. That was the main thing I took away from that promo.
Yeah, I mean, why is Batista so mad at Triple H anyways? Because Batista beat him at WrestleMania, 14 years ago, and then beat him at the Hell in the Cell match. So they never really explained why Batista holds a grudge towards Triple H. I don't get it.
Do you think they're doing the shades of gray, Aaron, with the fact that the internet thought Batista was trying to get a hold of Triple H to get back on Mania, and Triple H wasn't returning his call from the leaks in the news? Do you think they're trying to play off of that?
Well, they should have mentioned that on TV. Batista could have said, I wanted to come back and have another run with the company, but Triple H wouldn't even return my phone calls. I guess they feel I'm washed up or something. Like, they could have done a much better job explaining why Triple H and Batista have bad blood. To me, it's been very poor writing, which surprises me because you would think that Vince, Triple H, Batista, all these geniuses at work would say, hey, let's come up with something really brilliant for this WrestleMania build, and it feels lackluster, thrown together, and not much thought process into it. So, yeah, I'm really disappointed in it. I'm giving it time, and I'm not even looking forward to the match. I haven't been looking forward to the match. They may surprise me, though. Maybe they'll have an all-time classic, a four three-quarter star match. That's the most they're going to get. But, maybe they'll surprise me. Not
Big G. I feel you, Aaron. Big G, what would you do if Triple H had his great entrance, whatever new thing he could come up with, because something, and I would be shocked if this match just had normal entrances. I'd actually laugh. I'd be like, seriously? What would you do, though, if Triple H came out first and had his elaborate entrance, and then Batista, and I don't know if they could get the rights to this, came out like Drax or whoever that Marvel, would that not kind of be Dude, I mean, Avengers is coming out. Avengers is coming out, dude.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting way to go. Like you said, Triple H comes out with some weird new entrance that he comes up with, or he'll ride down with the motorcycle again with Stephanie behind him, and but that'd be cool. Drax or Batista coming out like bluish or whatever Drax's color was, or greenish or whatever.
And what a play to CM Punk, because guess who's written some Drax comics for Marvel? Phil Brooks.
Yep.
Oh, man. I'd get the internet talking.
I'm trying to think, am I looking forward towards this match a little bit more than Aaron is at this point? I really didn't like the promo yesterday. I did like the AJ and Randy Orton one a little better.
The Dixie Carter reference.
Like I said, I think we talked about this on Verti's Rage last week. I think they're doing this for the younger generation. Yes, we have the WWE Network, but the younger generation have never seen Triple H or Batista live one-on-one, so they're going to do it for the younger audience. So we'll see what happens. We've still got 3 weeks. Hopefully it'll get better. Hopefully we'll get some fights or some digs at each other. And I'm thinking, Batista, once Triple H at WrestleMania again, possibly what Aaron said about, not calling him back. Or it could also be, that Ric Flair mentored more Triple H than Batista did. So something like that. I don't know. Just an idea.
TJS, you're looking like you're ready to spot off about this.
Man, this match is going to be at least 15 minutes at WrestleMania. It's going to take up a big chunk. We know how Triple H and his long matches are. It just annoys me because I've said it before. Batista has no reason to want to wrestle Triple H in the storyline, because even when on SmackDown 1000, he's like, yeah, Triple H has never beat me. So why would you take the chance and say, like, oh, yeah, I want to fight him again? Like, why? Nothing makes sense. And I really am not a fan of the whole, this is not the character Triple H. This is not the character Batista. This is Paul and Dave. I've never been a fan of when wrestling straight up says, like, oh, this is scripted. None of this is real characters. It just
Good segue, by the way, because you know what the next topic's going to be.
Oh, yeah. I just feel like it degrades the product, and this is why people make fun of wrestling, because you go out there and say that on TV, then you're going to have even more people saying, oh, look, wrestling's so fake, and I don't know. I feel like this match has no holds barred. I know it's been made that already, but if it wasn't, it would be even worse. So at least it's getting protected with the stipulation. As far as Batista coming out as Drax goes, I think maybe if he wasn't the heel, then he probably would. But I feel like they would probably cheer it if he came out as Drax. But,
oh, that's a good point. Hey, so Triple H will bring out a sledgehammer, right? Because it's a no-holds-barred match. Do you think Batista's going to bring out one of the Bludgeon Brothers hammers, like the Thor hammer?
Maybe.
I mean, we gotta just make fun of it right now.
No, they're gonna use the steel steps. They'll do the spine buster on the steel steps, sell it for like 10 minutes, and then they'll do one. They're gonna do all these little tricks to cover up for the fact that they're both really too old to be in the ring. So they'll tease a table spot forever, and then finally one of them will go through in slow motion, and then the internet fans will say, "Oh, this is just psychology. They're great psychologists in the ring," and blah blah blah.
I'm anxious to see if they win Aaron over on this at any point between now and the end of this match.
Yeah, that reminds me of what you said about how Triple H was like, "Tell me what you want, I'll give you whatever you want," and then next week he's like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna give it to you, Batista." And then I love the video that you tweeted out where it's the remix. That was hilarious.
The Spice Girls. So give me what you want, what you really want.
Give me what I want. I'll give you what you want.
And yeah, Batista was spitting everywhere, man. That was.
Yeah, he was.
I feel like maybe Batista forgot his lines or something, so he just kept repeating that. I don't know. I don't have high hopes though.
Well, and think about it. Drax's lines in the Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy were very simple. So
yeah.
All right, let's talk about Ronda's worked shoot. Yes, I'm saying it worked shoot, but yet I see all over the internet fans believed it, disrespecting the business. Indie wrestlers believing it, disrespecting the business. Come on, you really think that Vince McMahon would bring in Ronda Rousey and let her do that if it wasn't premeditated by creative? Bruce Pritchard, you did a hell of a job with this. I'm telling you, I'm giving him credit for this. Big G, Ronda breaking kayfabe. What kayfabe? We don't have it anymore. I know TGS, you were just talking about that. Bubba Ray Dudley came to Ronda's this promo's defense. Chris Jericho basically more or less came to this promo's defense. Ronda is now a legit heel to wrestling fans. Charlotte was already that. They're going into this match with a double heel. Two people fans cannot stand because they love their Becky. I think it's brilliant for Becky to go over. What's your thoughts on the shoot promo from Ronda? I know you like Ronda too.
First of all, thank the freaking Lord. Ronda is a heel. She needed to be a heel when she first walked into the WWE, not Mrs. Nice Woman. She is the baddest woman on the planet. No more Mrs. Nice, bleep, screw the woo, damn the man. I'm happy Ronda's heel. I enjoyed her work shoot, that she did on everybody on Ronda. Not Ronda, yeah, Ronda did a promo on Ronda, sure. I mean on Becky and calling her Rebecca Quinn, and then yesterday she said screw you bandwagoners, and she just ripping into the crowd, telling the truth how it is in the wrestling biz, I guess. So, we'll see what happens at WrestleMania. But two heels, is Ronda going to get a little cheered in New York? Possibly, because people still kind of like her. And we know Charlotte's going to get booed heavily, and we know Becky's going to get cheered pretty much the whole entire match. So we'll see. And I really didn't read the tweets with Bubba Ray or Chris Jericho defending the promo. Did they say anything?
They like how it's got. They basically said anything in wrestling that gets people talking and emotionally invested. It doesn't matter where they go, as long as it gets those people invested.
And it is getting people invested into the match a lot more now that Ronda is a heel.
TJS.
If this wasn't a work, then Vince McMahon would have told Ronda to delete the video, and it would have been gone by now. I feel like if there was ever a story for Ronda or a storyline for Ronda Rousey to do in WWE, I think this is it. I think this really suits her. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of people saying like, "Oh, this is all fake," but the thing is, it's one thing for Triple H, who is an executive of the company, to say it, and then it's and then you have Ronda Rousey, who fought in the UFC and who can say that, like, "Oh yeah, this is just all fake." Anyway, I think that, like you guys said, I think this heel character is good. When she walked out on Raw, she wasn't smiling. She just walked straight out there, cut a promo, and left. And then she did if you want to see an armbar, pay $60, which...
Aaron, that's a UFC pay-per-view price reference, by the way, in case you missed that.
Oh, I'm sure it is, but that's not what WWE pay-per-view prices are, unless you're really old school.
But Ronda came from UFC. I know.
Maybe
there's a wrestling bubble. Some people are in it, some aren't.
I think that's the idea, maybe. Actually, it's probably not, but at least they can say, "Oh, that's the idea. Ronda doesn't care about WWE, so she doesn't know the pay-per-view price is, blah, blah, blah."
That would be clever. But
that's a nice cover, yeah.
Yeah. The problem with that is that we know that she's a lifelong wrestling fan. So I feel like maybe Brock Lesnar could also do this story if it wasn't already happening. And I want to note that they turned Ronda Rousey heel a little bit over a year after she came in. But before Roman, like when he was getting booed and everything, they didn't turn him ever. I just think that's really interesting that they turned Ronda on a whim like that and never turned Roman. I mean, obviously, you don't need to turn Roman now because he's getting cheered.
Big G's got on. I thought.
I just thought of something. Okay, so you know how Ronda is a big fan of Roddy Piper, right? And she's got his like legit jacket. What if she, one day she cut a promo, threw the jacket down, screw Roddy Piper. I just use his name just to get popular with the WWE universe.
Ooh,
Big G, hell of an idea. I mean, and I hope Bruce Pritchard, who worked with Piper, thinks, the new people on creative, I hope they think of stuff like that between now and Mania.
I think if they do that, then she won't be using the Rowdy name anymore. And
that's why, that's what I meant, exactly just like that.
I like it, but I also feel like this should be Ronda's last match at WrestleMania if she's going to go with this story. Because if it's not, then it's just going to make her look stupid if she keeps showing up after she loses at WrestleMania. If this is her last match, then fine. But how do you make up for this? You're going to turn her back a babyface and say, like, oh, I'm going to follow the script now? Like, I don't know.
Well, they don't have to, TJS, because if they do four horsewomen versus four horsewomen at any point, the wrestler four horsewomen are going to be the babies, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know if that's ever going to happen because I'm pretty sure Becky's going to have the title, and I don't know. You think Ronda's going to bring Dana White into this or something? Dana White's going to start showing up on WWE TV? Who the hell knows? I'll be shocked if the announcers ever are like, "Oh, Ronda's refusing to follow the script." Whatever. I don't like when people crap on Ronda because I think that she's really good in the ring and on the mic. So.
Aaron, what's your thoughts on
slow
this?
down her lines, that's all.
She goes too fast. Aaron, thoughts on this? And you think that the women are going on last?
I do think they're going on last, and I feel like they're trying to do whatever it takes to make people care about this like it's a main event match. So they're going to push the envelope. They're going to break the fourth wall because they know that's what the diehard fans want to see, even though I feel like for the most part fans don't want to be told wrestling's fake.
Especially kids.
Yeah. So I think it's interesting build-up, but I feel like maybe it's being overdone a little bit. Maybe they're trying too hard to make
like
people care about
WCW
this.
2000.
Yeah, you could argue
There,
that.
I said it, Aaron, so I can't be mad. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I think some people had the attitude like maybe this just should have been kept simple. You didn't need to overthink it. But they did have a lot of weeks of television, so they had to have some twists and turns. Like I said before, as long as Becky gets the win at WrestleMania, then I'm ultimately okay with whatever the build-up is. You know, I feel as long as that's the end result and the people get what they want to see, then I'm all for it, you know. But if Becky loses, you know, that you're going to have a lot of upset fans, and it might not be pretty. It might be, you know.
It's been. Oh,
they may crap on the whole show. And, you know, if it's the main event, though, then. But that's weird. Like, would they really close the show and not have Becky win? I mean, they did have Reigns lose at last year's WrestleMania. But then again, nobody really wanted to see Reigns win, anyways.
Yeah.
Except for
I
Virtue.
Agree.
Well, yeah, because people wanted to see Brock keep it. Come on, Aaron. I mean, I know that the people hate Reigns, but
well,
quite
frankly, I just wanted to see Lesnar gone. So I'm like, just get it done. If you're gonna do it, you're gonna put the title on Reigns. Just do it, get it over with, and let's move on.
I said nope.
Yeah, Aaron, what you were saying about this Ronda thing and the Becky and Charlotte thing being overbooked, man, I agree. If you think about it, this started at Royal Rumble. Becky wasn't even in the Rumble. Then she got in the match, won the match, got suspended, got unsuspended, got arrested, got suspended again, had to win another match to get in the... It's just, it's really confusing. I would have preferred if you just kept Becky suspended and just didn't have her show up until maybe like the go-home show for WrestleMania. Then she shows up, and then that's when she gets her chance to get the match. But,
well, here's my segue into our main event, and I'm going to give our the No DQ Galaxy what they want here. Vince McMahon went from meddling in this Becky feud, which is going to be the main event of WrestleMania, did his thing, right? You're not bigger than a WWE. You're suspended. And now he's not involved with that, and he's involved with Kofi Kingston. People, I'm giving you what you want. The main event of the No DQ review number 50 is Kofi Mania. Okay? Next week on SmackDown, he's wrestling a gauntlet match, which is 99% predictable that he's going through and going to win that. And he's going to be at WrestleMania against Daniel Bryan. Now, until it happens, we don't know. Vince could still do his trickery, right? There you go, everybody. Talk about Kofi Mania. I did it for you, No DQ Galaxy. I heard you on Fastlane. I heard you on Raw, on SmackDown. All I hear is Kofi, Kofi, Kofi. Aaron Rift, start on Kofi Mania. Kofi Mania is the main event of the No DQ review number 50.
All right, well, a lot of people are talking about him. A lot of people want to see him win the WWE title and be the first full African-American person to hold the championship. Will it happen or not? That remains to be seen. I don't really like the Vince-Kofi dynamic because I don't understand what Vince has against him. Yeah, Vince is like, you know, you're not championship material. I wish they would have just like pushed the envelope and just let Vince be a racist, but they're not going to do that.
Not TV, Aaron.
Yeah. Like, just Vince saying you're not championship material. I'm like, come on now. And the whole thing just doesn't really make sense to me, especially when Mustafa Ali got the championship opportunity. And like I said, he's done less than Kofi Kingston has. So why does Vince think he gets the opportunity? Like, where did all this hate for Kofi come from all of a sudden? Especially when Vince was supposed to be a babyface just a couple months ago, and the fans are the authority. So the whole thing just bugs me. I don't really like how I understand it's last minute. You know, Kofi, this whole thing wasn't even supposed to happen, and now WWE's just trying to go with it. So they're just trying to make up something here and have Vince be the heel again. I don't know. I guess it's a good feel-good moment if Kofi wins, but like you said, Virtue, he may just be the flavor of the month. You know, this thing may die off in a couple of months, and people might not
I've
get.
just seen it all too often. Not the talent's fault at all, Aaron. We know it's the booking and the creative's fault, but I've just seen it so much. I can't help but think the way I think, and I'm not being a troll. I'm just expecting what Vince McMahon does.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. We'll see if Kofi actually. I mean, I think he is going to get the shot. I would be surprised if he did not get the opportunity at WrestleMania. Big G, do you think we're going to see Kofi actually become the first full African American WWE champion?
I'm gonna give it like a 75% chance that he probably will be at WrestleMania. So we know the Gauntlet match will probably run another hour next week on SmackDown. I did enjoy the promo from SmackDown tonight with the New Day. You know, finally no pancakes after months. They were a little bit, I don't want to say edgier, but they were what's the word I'm looking for?
Just more serious.
A little bit more serious than usual. You know, and like you said, at one point I thought Vince was gonna say something, you know, racist or something like that. But
He did in his head.
Not,
He just didn't say it out loud.
You know, like you said, you're not championship material. They brought up the B+ line, which I thought it was awesome.
Yep.
You know, especially coming from Daniel Bryan, you know, because I
was waiting for that. 30. You know what I mean? I was really waiting for Bryan to say that. I mean, not this moment, anytime.
Yeah. And I liked how Kofi was passionate, you know, saying how he doesn't complain about anything, how he's always there for Vince and he's missed things with his kids and stuff like that. And, you know, why does Mustafa Ali get a chance at the WWE title when he hasn't been there since, 2015? And Kofi's been there for 11 years. You know, what does Vince have against Kofi? We should get an explanation about that, you know? Not just because you're championship material. That's just lame, you know? Like I said, if Kofi wins, I think everybody will be happy. I know the internet wrestling community will be happy.
I just wanted to add, like, what about guys like AJ Styles and all these other smaller guys that have been WWE champion? Finn Balor was Universal champion. So why does Vince give all these guys an opportunity when they're the tiny, small guys that aren't, you know, like the big 6'8" muscular guys like Roman Reigns? I know Roman Reigns isn't that tall.
I was going to say, if the Universal title is like the big title now, then why does it matter if Kofi gets a WWE title shot now, you know?
Right, it's the mid-card match anyways.
Like Birch said, if it's going to be the workhorse title, you might as well put it on Kofi. He's been a workhorse for 11 years, you know? He's grinded, scratched, and...
Yeah, there's no real legitimate, believable reason why Vince would be against Kofi being in the match. Like, they did a very poor job from Vince's perspective explaining why Kofi shouldn't be in the match.
Exactly.
And I agree with that, but like, let's just say maybe this is Vince McMahon's brain. 3 months ago, 6 months ago, the internet wasn't pinning Kofi to any WWE title match. But because Mustafa Ali got hurt and Kofi replaced him and had that gauntlet match run, Elimination Chamber run, that's why I can't get off the flavor of the month thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I heard Kofi deserves it, not just by one or two people, but by a good amount of people for the last couple of years, I would be totally different right now. I swear to God I would.
You got to think about it, though, Virtue. Kofi was by himself for the longest time, and then he gets put with the New Day. And the New Day, they were heels. They tried the babyface thing. They turned heel, and then they went back to babyface, and then they did the whole Booty-O's and ice cream and now pancake. So, I mean, I can understand where you're coming from as well. So,
TJS.
It's hard to say.
So here's what I want to throw at you now. You can give your thoughts on Kofi. What if either at this end of this gauntlet match next Tuesday or at Mania, Big E and or Xavier turn on Kofi and cost him? Do we have a potential dynamic of nuclear heat? We got to think how Vince McMahon would think. Not what we want, because we could think about it, either of it. But I mean, what do you think's going to happen?
Well, when Vince announced the gauntlet, I was expecting J&J Security, Big Show, and Kane to come out there. This just feels so much like the build to WrestleMania 30. But I don't think it's like a duplicate. I enjoyed the segment with Vince and Kofi and the New Day. They just marched straight out there, even though they were still wearing their pancake gear. I think they should have just came out in street clothes. I would have taken them a bit more seriously that way. And I don't think that Kofi's going to win the title at WrestleMania, but I think that he's going to win the gauntlet somehow. And it's like you guys said, Vince doesn't really have a legitimate gripe against Kofi, but maybe that's the point. Maybe Vince is just like, I run the damn company. I'm the one who calls the shots. If I don't want him to be in there, he's not going to be in there.
So elaborate on that. Kofi gets there but doesn't win it. So this is going back to you saying earlier, you really think Bryan should have this long run as WWE champion with that Earth belt, and maybe have Harper join him, maybe build a little faction, do you?
Yep, I think that's what's going to happen, because that way you can continue the feud a little bit. You would have New Day versus Daniel Bryan, Rowan, and Harper. I don't think the New Day is going to break up. I think that if they broke up, they'd get lost in the shuffle really quickly. And the whole Kofi Mania thing, I mean, you can't argue that Kofi has been consistent and everything. I think they should have, they said that they flew to India for events, did the promotional tour. Kofi's never complained. But then Vince did say...
that was a nice shot at Daniel Bryan, by the way. If you really think about it, because he didn't go over there, did he?
No.
For the last show? Yeah.
Exactly. And the thing is, I think the New Day should have been like, oh, look at all the merchandise that we sell. Mustafa Ali doesn't even have a damn T-shirt on the shop. So, I don't know. I feel like I really don't want to see another gauntlet match. And I'm kind of tired of the generic heel authority figure saying, like, oh, you can't do it, blah, blah, blah. But I don't think Kofi's going to win the title because WWE can't tell an underdog story 3 times, not with Seth, Kofi, and Becky. Someone has to lose. And
I was going to bring that up, TJ. So think about that. Seth, Becky, and Kofi potentially here.
Yeah.
You don't think all 3 could be delivered?
No, I think that it's going to get watered down if you keep trying to do these underdog stories. Granted, Seth Rollins isn't really being portrayed as an underdog as much as Kofi is, but
yeah. I
think Lesnar's on his way out, and I think Seth's going to take the title. I mean, he has a Beast Slayer T-shirt. So I mean,
yeah, there was also a Y2AJ shirt. Doesn't mean anything.
That's true.
So, Aaron, you're still all for you think Lesnar's retaining, huh?
Yes, and I'm sticking to it.
Somebody told me, Rob told me, I've been doing shows with him on the other channels, said he could see a curb stomp attempt going, and Brock pops up and catches him into an F5. I don't know if it could be pulled off.
Ooh.
And then I was like, oh my gosh, I could see that too. It's crazy, man. The fans got to get something, though.
Yeah, I feel like it's fine
Becky.
to have Seth win and Becky win, but do you guys really think Kofi's going to hold the title as part of a faction? I don't. I just don't see it.
Well, keep in mind, Kofi fans, where does WWE go in May? Back to Saudi Arabia. If Daniel Bryan refuses to travel there, that belt's coming off of him because they're going to want their WWE champion over there.
Yeah.
So that's that could be in Kofi's favor right now.
Right. Well, maybe Xavier and Big E win the tag titles at WrestleMania, and Kofi wins the WWE title. New Day holds the 3 championships.
Yep.
I don't see it. I can't picture it in my head. I can picture Seth beating Brock. I can picture Becky winning, but I just can't see Kofi winning. And isn't it crazy how the times have changed? How Daniel Bryan was in this exact position like 3 years ago, or I guess 5 years ago. How he was the underdog, the B+ player, and now Kofi is the B+ player. I loved the line, like you guys said. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm full circle.
Yep.
Becky's also the B+ player apparently too.
You know what's crazy? I don't know. This doesn't make any sense or have anything to do with anything. But with Vince saying that the only way you're gonna get in to the Hall of Fame is with the New Day, not by yourself. But look at Harlem Heat. Booker T went in first, and now he's going in with the tag team.
Yep.
So.
Well, there you have it, folks. It's Mania season, and stay tuned in the next week's No DQ review, because we're going to actually know exactly what Kofi's fate is for WrestleMania. That's all I got. Anybody else have anything they want to add for this extra special celebration? I'll probably be more excited if I can make it to 100.
Yeah. Well, we'll get
50. There. Yeah, we're there. So, Big G,
halfway there.
Plugs for you, Big G.
We're living on a prayer.
Yes, NoDQ.com/Big G takes you to my Twitter page. NoDQ_Big G on Instagram. Jeff Hilton on Facebook. Cheap plug. I will be going to Raw and SmackDown go home shows before WrestleMania. Aaron was gracious enough to give me some business cards to hand out and a couple of these lovely NoDQ.com pens. I don't know if do you still have any on sale or?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, 1 for $3, I think, or 5 for $10.
Yeah.
Email him, and that's it for the Big G. TJS, take it away, buddy.
NoDQ.com/TJS. That will take you to my Facebook page. Add me there. Twitter at NoDQ_TJS. Also Instagram at Tyler Joseph Smith. Follow me there. And NoDQ.com/shirts. There's plenty of them on sale, folks. The NoDQ review shirt. We're on number 50. The Fire Virtue shirt. Get them while they're hot. There's plenty of them. We have tons of shirts. NoDQ Galaxy shirts. It's great. So buy a shirt. That's all I gotta say.
Buy a shirt.
Yeah, where's your
Rift.
Where's your NoDQ shirt, TJS?
I don't know. It's in the
all right, before we go, TJS really wanted to make number 50 special. He wanted to do it shirtless. I logged on to Skype.
No.
And he was rubbing himself. So I unfortunately had to see that.
You gotta sell it.
He did want to do that for you, No DQ Galaxy. That's why he just threw on that shirt, and it's not a reviewer. It's not a.
Keep what they want.
Save it for Instagram. Let the people go on Instagram for that.
Oh, maybe people got a little visual just by me explaining it, but whatever.
Yeah, that was too much as it is. You doing that right now. I'm about to hurl over here.
Plugs, TJS.
Oh, I'm plugged already.
Okay.
Yeah, you're so flustered now. You're asking him again for his plugs.
Give us a toilet flush for number 50.
Yeah, hit us with that toilet flush.
There goes Kofi's push after Mania.
Oh.
And Josh Mansfield, if I got to get you 2 shirts, I got to get you 2 shirts. But keep in mind, if they make that match as of next Tuesday, I'm still waiting till after Mania because anything can be changed, card subject to change. So you would not get your shirts until it officially happened as a one-on-one match.
Yeah.
So with that said, I am Virtue. You can follow me on Twitter. You can troll with me on Twitter at NoDQ_Virtue. Virtue's Rage with Big G, all that good stuff. It's always there on Twitter. So for Big G, for TJS, for the boss man Aaron Rift, this is the No DQ review number 50. See you next time.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
Gary Hebert, the man, the myth, the legend. I was amazed, and I was looking to become a better skater myself, and I wanted to be like Gary.
When you look at a guy like this, he's one of the most talented people in his profession. He's been given gifts by God.
It can get frustrating at times when you're trying things that, that maybe don't come as quickly to you as other things. And, you never really felt that sense of frustration with Gary. It was always about improvement and positive reinforcement.
Was it really the end? Was that head injury really the end? God has called Gary to continue to be a blessing to others and to be a passionate example.
My name is Gary Hebert, and this is the World Academy of Hockey, otherwise known as the Inside Edge.
I would recommend anybody that have a chance to come to his hockey school. I think it'd be well worth it. It'd be rewarding to all the kids and anyone he coaches, from whether it's an adult, a professional player, to a little kid like a Mite or a Squirt.
Gary, from day one, has been instrumental to my hockey career. I started out as a potential Division III player, and Gary brought me single-handedly through high school and into a top Division I prospect. I owe it all to Gary, the biggest legend on and off ice there's ever been.
Listen, watch, learn, be confident, and have faith. Those are the answers I was brought to. Yet, I only now am really learning how truly important those 5 things are.
Through preparation, through appropriate thoughtfulness and thinking, we can learn to untie the typical knots between our ears that drive us into underachievement and underperformance. And lo and behold, we can learn, I think, to fulfill our God-given potentials.
Gary has the innate ability to make people not only better players, but better people. The life lessons they learn from Gary are incredible.
You can always remember leaving that rink knowing as a player I got better, or I had something to improve on to get better. And I think that's what you excelled on as a coach, is giving us the knowledge to know what we needed to do to get better.
There's coaches who know the game, but can you communicate and create passion in your kids and in your players? And Gary's able to do that.
Gary's got great knowledge and the great hands, but more importantly, his ability to connect with people and care for them. His communication skills, to me, really stand out and separate him, and that's why he's one of the best, in the world.
Gary's a legend. He's a special, special man.
Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from A Simple Man's Brand.
Oofa! Quite a new beginning indeed. Hello everybody. Now I'm just a simple man, and my name is Noah Foster, and welcome to yet another Simple Take. In this Simple Take, I will be giving my brief analysis, recaps, takeaways, and overall thought process after we have now concluded NJPW The New Beginning in Sapporo, Night 1. It has just concluded live on the NJPWworld.com. It is currently 7:45 a.m. here Eastern Standard Time, and there certainly was a number of surprises and unexpected results, I'm sure, for some. With that, let's just go ahead and get right into it. So our first match was a tag of Yuyu Yumera, apologies if I screw up any of these names, folks, and Tiger Mask versus Bullet Clubs, Taiji Shimori, and ELP, the former IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. Now, clear to say here, most people, they went with Bullet Club because clearly you want ELP and Taiji. They're going to build some momentum. Tyler Mask taking this young lion underneath his wing, though, trying to, groom him and teach him the ways of New Japan Pro Wrestling as he's best known for. And, of course, in this match, Bullet Club picked up a win in a competitive opener. There was some good spots here where the young lion had the crowd really getting behind him, and you thought that they might win. But again, that's how New Japan works, per se. And basically, Taiji submitted Yumera with, a yes lock. Daniel Bryan approved, I suppose. But not a bad opener. Second match, of course, was a 3-on-3 tag match, 6-man tag. Toru Henare, Tomoaki Honma, and Togi Makabe versus Yoshitsuji, Manabu Nakanishi, and Hiroyoshi Tenzin. Now, of course, the main story out of this match, of course, as you know, this is Nakanishi's retirement tour, as he will be also retiring. Man, 2 retirements, one each month. Basically, he will also be retiring from NJPW and from wrestling as a whole. And in this match, of course, you have Toru Henare, who's trying to prove why I belong in the New Japan Cup. I belong in the G1 this year, because I participated in Block C last year as we approached G1 Climax 30th anniversary. And also, he wants to say and showcase why he is now above the status of Young Lion. And of course, Team Henare, they picked up the win with Henare getting the win for his team in a very competitive back and forth bout. Of course, as New Japan Pro Wrestling shows goes, really what people would call the undercard, tag setups and stuff like that, specials and teasers. They basically are like a little bit of a showcase performance / grooming for the Young Lions, per se. And also, it might be a little bit of foreshadowing of what's to come. Because those Young Lions, they showcase a lot of ruthless aggression. And there are bitter feuds within them as well. And some of them, they just want to move on, either to Excursion or the next step up and compete with vets, as they always do. Good match. Things really started to pick up here, though, as we got a tale of 2 matches in this 4-on-4 tag between Chaos and Suzuki-gun. As it was the coach, Ryusuke Taguchi, one half of the Mega Coaches, I might add, Roppongi 3K, Sho and Yo, the current IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, and Will Ospreay, the aerial assassin himself, versus Suzuki-gun's Zack Sabre Jr., the current British Heavyweight Champion, Bukai, and of course, El Desperado and Yoshinobu Kamaro, who have an up-and-coming title match for the tag team titles in Osaka. So basically, this was about, okay, which team can gain momentum towards their title matches coming up? Because, Will Ospreay, he has his title match coming up literally tomorrow morning, Sunday morning, for the British Heavyweight Championship. 7 years. 7 years he's been waiting on this, as he proclaimed, as Team Chaos picked up the win here, with Taguchi picking up the pin over Dukai. This match broke down pretty darn fast, though, and Dukai even got close near fall here. He tried to get the pipe into play. This was obviously a hugely showcased and focused on Will Ospreay and Zack Sabre Jr., who had an incredible back and forth time in this match, showcasing speed and technical wrestling. But I feel like speed is definitely in Will Ospreay's favor. But Zack Sabre Jr., he can get you out of nowhere, it seems. So it's going to be really interesting how the match goes tomorrow. But basically, momentum in favor of Will Ospreay and Roppongi 3K as they look down on their opponents for their tag titles. And Will Ospreay proclaimed, 7 years I've been waiting for this, Kevin. 7 years. Because if you look at the records, and go look at the records on the archives or the preview on NJPW1972.com, Zack Sabre Jr. is basically being Ospreay almost at every turn. So now we have a singles match for the British Heavyweight Championship. Can Ospreay elevate this title, or will Zack Sabre Jr. continue to show why strong style is dead, long live Sabreism? We'll know within 24 hours. Great match, though. Then, following this, we had a preview of the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship match, as we had Robbie Eagles tagging with Ryu Lee versus Los Ingobernables de Japon's Hiromu Takahashi, the current champion, and my good friend, good brother, Chris Willis' favorite, Bushi. Anyway, this match was very back and forth, but you also have to consider there is Robbie Eagles here. He's nobody to just look to the side, as since joining Chaos, he has a lot of momentum on his side, being part of the Birds of Prey, but also pinning, who is now champ, Hiromu Takahashi, during the Road to Tokyo Dome tour. And he got the win again here for his team, pinning Bushi. Botchmania, submitting Bushi after a Turbo Backpack preview follow-up. But this match right here was definitely focused heavily on Ryo Lee and Hiromu Takahashi, that they just exchanged speed and suplexes back and forth, because again, it was back in 2018 in the match against this very person where Hiromu basically, we thought he was out of commission for good. So here we are, and we get ready for Ryo Lee versus Hiromu Takahashi for the title. But I have to imagine that whoever wins this match, Robbie Eagles has got to be the first in line for the next title opportunity, because now he's picked up the win in these matches, pinning the now champ, who wasn't champ at the time, and pinning who you think would probably be a close contender next time, Bushi. I think Robbie Eagles has IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship aspirations in his future sooner than later. Anyway, following this, as Robbie Eagles and Ryo Lee, they get the momentum going into, Sapporo Night 2 and Osaka. We go into now the tale of basically two of the headline matches coming up in Osaka, as we have Bullet Club versus LIJ. It is the double champ, Tetsuya Naito, and his partner, Kosuke Sanada, versus Bullet Club's leader in Jay White, and the most hated man in New Japan Pro Wrestling, especially after the events on Monday Night Raw, but I digress, Kenta. And of course, this match was everything you would expect. It was shenanigans galore from Bullet Club. It was basically a story of Sanada versus Jay White, even though Sanada mostly got worked over by Kenta during a portion of this after Kenta took out Naito and showed childish tactics as well, garnering crowd heat, taking out Naito, leaving him to the outside. Naito getting a little bit of a fury coming back into play here. But in the end, you have to consider the wow factor in all this. Gato, who truly is the deal maker all this in the end, as he allowed victory for Jay White with a roll-up of tights after hitting Sanada inadvertently with a chair to the face after going for it a second time. Because the first time, Sanada, he kicked the rope straight into, well, where the sun doesn't shine for Gato. Ouch. And now it's momentum in favor of both Kenta and Jay White, as Jay White has rolled up Sanada, because Jay White and Sanada will face each other in Osaka in a specials one-on-one match. And of course, Kenta and Naito will headline the New Beginning Tour in Osaka in the main event for the titles. And of course, Kenta tries to come in with a little bit more of aftermath brawling. Naito breaks that up. So where does Naito's head stand? And where does things really stand in Bullet Club? Is everything fine? You know the old gift of the fire. Everything is fine. I don't know. It would not surprise me, because usually, sometimes, especially after these New Beginning tours per se, there have always been unique moments that have really defined Bullet Club and the direction that they'll go. And we also know at this point, Jay White, he is confirmed to face, former Bullet Club member in Marty Scurll at Supercard of Honor. Yes, I will be watching it and I will be predicting it. So I'm very curious what will be the aftermath of Osaka, especially for Bullet Club, if both Jay White and Kenta lose or win, or one wins and one doesn't. Can Kenta truly take away Naito's crowning achievement and deny all the LIJ fans? Or is this just, a rushed one-off? I don't know. Something bigger, I feel like, is going to happen here. But I digress. Foreshadowing. Now we really get into when the card really picked up, and I mean really freaking picked up and was unpredictable, as we had the first time ever duel of Jon Moxley and his partner, Rainmaker Kazuchika Okada, versus the king himself, Minoru Suzuki, and Black Mephisto, all hail the Holy Emperor, with a homecoming performance, I might add, and Miho Abe in tow, Taiji. This match was everything I thought it would be, until the ending, as it kicked off with literally Suzuki and Moxley beating the tar out of each other, testing each other's defiance, pride, pain threshold, who loves pain, who could dish out more pain, as literally they just duked it out, and at one point, Minoru Suzuki's just laughing. Moxley, he's winding up a shot. What does he do? He gives him the double bird. And then that basically ticks off Suzuki to the point he tries to break his fingers. You don't leave anything to chance with Minoru Suzuki, okay? Basically, brutality and defiance, it ensued, and then chaos, no pun intended, basically ensued, as well as, of course, it broke down. This was really a tale of two matches. They really could have used like side-by-side camera perspective, but I like how they kind of like, took time between the brawls between, Suzuki and Moxley, and of course, what really took place more in the ring, Taiji and Okada. As this match kept going forward, Taiji basically took control over Okada for the stint of it, while Suzuki and Moxley at one point were jousting each other with barricades in the audience. Again, no one is safe around Minoru Suzuki, and then you have the purveyor of violence in Jon Moxley. But anyway, as we go back to the ring at one point, Taiji, he gets control of Okada. The pants come off. I always wait for that. I need to get a pair of those tearaway pants. Doggone it. But I digress. And anyway, as we move towards the match's end, Minoru Suzuki and Jon Moxley, they're coming back into play. And literally, Jon Moxley locks on Minoru Suzuki in a submissions hold. Only for Minoru Suzuki, of course, to roll through and get the better of Jon Moxley. Things kept breaking down as Taiji kept Okada at bay. And in the end, Minoru Suzuki got the best of Jon Moxley, tying him up and getting him, again, after the two exchange, once again, slapping the tar out of each other, chomping each other, punching each other, and of course, flipping him again, Jon Moxley did. He got caught in basically what was a Wrestle Kingdom repeat. A sleeper hold and Gotch-style power driver. Minoru Suzuki pinned Jon Moxley. 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring. So, is Minoru Suzuki literally due to become the King of America? Holy hell, that'd be crazy. Talk about revolution. Revolution. Why does that sound familiar? Anyway, the match itself was very competitive, very aggressive, very back and forth, especially between Minoru Suzuki and Jon Moxley. But it was truly the aftermath of the match that told the other story here, as we have not only the IWGP United States Championship match between Minoru Suzuki and Jon Moxley in Osaka, but closing the night in Osaka is Kazuchika Okada and Taiji. And for those of you who don't know, Taiji actually holds a victory. Yes, a singles victory over Okada back in 2008. This match is literally 12 years waiting. And Taiji really showcased a whole new side of brutality and aggression that I think at one point probably made Miho Abe feel uncomfortable. As the match ended, we find Taiji literally strangling and choking out the Rainmaker himself with a cable in the barricade to an extended period of time. And then you go back into the ring, as Miho Abe, I think, is just screaming on. He takes the mic stand before he could bash Okada with it. He takes out every person possible that tries to stop this madness in the Young Lions. As he goes for the mic stand bit, Okada, he comes back to life, gets him with a bit of a dropkick, and you think he's going to do Rainmaker. No, because here's the other thing. We really have a clash of matches here. When you think about it, Okada and Will Ospreay, they carried New Japan Pro Wrestling for the year 2019. Now Suzuki is trying to make 2020 their year at their expense. As Zack Sabre Jr. came into play and tied up and locked up a man he has history with as well, Kazuchika Okada in a submissions hold, allowing for Taiji to pull out for, I believe now, the third time, the Iron Glove of Iska, and nail Okada with it. Only for Ospreay to try and come into play to break everything up and save the man, only to be taken out, of course, by Zack Sabre Jr. with a Zack driver. Don't think that Zack Sabre Jr. can just win via submissions, folks. Just saying. He does have some power to him, as he showcased here. And he also can keep up with Ospreay on speed, per se. Anyway, as this kept going on, and Zack Sabre Jr. stood triumphant over Ospreay, and Taiji stood triumphant over Okada, Taiji was not done with Okada as he came back and pulled off a Black Mephisto and stretch submission hold on the rampway. So in the end, Suzuki-gun with the biggest statement so far of the year and of the night over Will Ospreay and Kazuchika Okada as we prepare for the British Heavyweight Championship match tomorrow and Osaka for Okada and Taiji. And Taiji basically says, 12 years now, you've been ducking me. Well, now you can't duck me. But you may want to pray for its extension or its postponement. One thing's for sure, we are definitely getting a whole new Taiji from this match and feud alone. It is a whole new year in New Japan Pro Wrestling. A new beginning indeed, and probably an end for some. Good Lord, that was rather barbaric. I did not expect that at all tonight. From Taiji especially. But I digress. Anyway, following this, we go into a match that is maybe a destiny of destruction for the two, as it seems like they're just to destroy each other, until Evil finally can overcome this man, who he has yet to overcome in singles action. As we had Evil versus Ishii, I've lost count. And this match was everything you would expect. A brutal affair and a testament of a man's will to basically endure punishment. Who has the stronger will? Ishii once again did. Sorry, Chris Mace. Evil put up a triumphant, huge fight, controlling the area going, getting a chair spot in there, of course, swinging for the fences at one point. There was a wicked exchanges throughout this match. Of course, Reshizuman, though, who let these two men just beat the tar out of each other, because again, he's going to let the men figure it out and take care of it and tell the story in the ring. The most lenient of referees in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and my favorite, I must say. Excuse me. Anyway, following this, though, basically as we kept going towards this, there was a ridiculous superplex spot by Tomohiro Ishii, and I thought he had Evil here. No, not quite. As this kept going on, these two suplex exchange each other. They headbutt the hell out of each other. There was a roll through, a headbutt, drops Ishii, as Evil had all the momentum it seemed behind him in the long going. He pulls off Darkness Falls. It was not enough. He can never pull off everything as Evil. And then a wicked headbutt drops Evil towards the end. And basically, once again, Tomohiro Ishii picks up the win with vertical drop brainbuster. So once again, Evil on the short end of the stick. What does the man have to do to beat Ishii? What does he have to do? I feel like until he beats Ishii, he's never going to get to that next pinnacle point that he wants to be. He tried to break out in the G1, had a decent score there, and then he tried to go after the main event of Tokyo Dome, failed to accomplish that after losing to Kota Ibushi for the right certificate. Is this going to be Evil's year? Is this going to be LIJ's year for Evil and Sonata, who you thought had so much momentum in the later half of 2019? Now they're both kind of, reset. It's really crazy to think about. As far as Tomohiro Ishii goes, is he going to go after the Never Openweight Championship? Is there ever going to be a time where he doesn't fight Evil, per se? Will the Stone Pit Bull ever break? It's something to really think about. But as far as these two goes in this rivalry, a destiny to destroy us has been proclaimed in the package by Baron Yamazaki. Apologize if I screwed up the name of the narrator. Love that narrator, by the way. I look forward to their next one-on-one encounter, and it wouldn't surprise me if it happens in the New Japan Cup next month. But with that being said, we then go into the main event of Night 1 for the Never Openweight Championship, as the defending champion Hiroki Goto challenges the man who had probably one of the best years ever in New Japan Pro Wrestling, especially in 2019, with the highest pinfall win-loss record, in Shingo Takagi. So this match was literally a match, again, of really what has become the spirit of the Never Openweight title. A old school throwback to strong style and just throwing down to see, can you knock out your opponent? Who could take the hardest hit? As this title has been held by the likes of Minoru Suzuki, Katsuyori Shibata, Tomohiro Ishii, Jeff Cobb, Taiji. The list goes on and on and on. As Hiroki Goto came into this as the 28th Never Openweight champion and his 5th reign. And these two wallowed into each other. As it was not only a championship match, it was a rubber match. If you remember, Shingo and Goto, they first met each other in the finale of G1 Climax. Shingo won. Goto got a little bit of redemption, though, and tied it 1-1 in this feud during the Road to Destruction tour. Fast forward now, in that New Year's Dash, Shingo Takagi pins Hiroki Goto, and we get this title opportunity. And this match happened, and I loved it. Both men at first would match each other for speed and strength, testing each other's wills and arms. I'm surprised they don't have a broken arm or a concussion, as they collided with each other in the middle several times during several occasions. There was a suplex exchange between both men. At one point, Shingo Takagi stands up after a suplex, and then Goto stands up, and then Goto drops the man. Both men are down on the mat. Shingo takes down Goto with a thunderous clothesline, turns the man inside out. There was a top rope power slam. I almost thought that was like a top rope made in Japan almost. And then Goto, he follows up with somebody he hasn't used forever. Apologies if I don't know the exact names. Still learning. Top rope, sunset power bomb. And then a really interesting GTR where he suspends Goto on the top rope and drops him very awkwardly. That could have been really devastating. And then Shingo follows up with his GTR, as it's called the Takagi Revolutions. So basically following this, he hits him with a pumping bomber, and I thought that probably had a new champion. Goto kicks out. And then we get Shotokai from Hiroki Goto, put out all the stops here, trying to hold on to this title. who's really done a lot, by the way, with his training through Shibata to get his body back in shape and really raise his spirits. This never weight title is kind of like a revigoration for Goto, so good on him. Anyway, though, following this, the two men, they are literally, once again, we got headbutts. I don't know what's worse, Ishii and Eva headbutting each other, or these two headbutting each other. Because these two wall-laid into one another multiple times with headbutts and then forearms. At one point, the mouthpiece flies out Shingo Takagi's mouth. And as you all know, who's a wrestler, analyst, people wear mouthpieces to help themselves from being knocked out. Hence Pete Dunne, for example, and Killer Kelly, two of my faves. Anyway, following this, we get a reverse GTR into Made in Japan. Near fall, still not enough. And then finally, at the end of this match, he pulls it off with Last of the Dragon. That is right, folks. New beginning for the Never Openweight Championship picture and Shingo Takagi. I wore the short predictions. I predicted it. I called it. Shingo Takagi is the 29th Never Openweight Champion and ends the 5th reign of Hiroki Goto. So here's the way I see it now. He's a double champ. I mean, I know they want to do some stuff with the 6-man Neverweight Championships, but let's face it, those are the most underlooked at titles in New Japan Pro Wrestling. He really wants to make this Neverweight title special, though. As he says, he wants to infuse his spirit into the spirit of Never, as Never Openweight has limitless possibilities. He wants to make this the only title, per se, that people want to go for a matter. Truth be told, we know that the double champ Naito, he has the titles, including the top title itself, the Heavyweight Championship. But he wants to elevate the spirit of Never and Shingo through this title in the Never Openweight Championship picture. And we may have already got a teaser to potentially his first match or defense, as this will be a great rivalry renewed. Sho was at ringside on commentary for the Japanese commentary team the entire match, and the two locked eyes with each other as Shingo walked to the back to once again proclaim what he wants to do with this title, and he wonders what the hell Goto is made of, and if Sho wants to come at him, he welcomes it. And that was the end of night 1 for NJPW's New Beginning in Sapporo. We had a new champion, we had a thunderous, vigorous, brutal statement sent to the Rainmaker Okada and Will Ospreay, and we had a first as Minoru Suzuki has pinned Jon Moxley. There is a lot to think about as we head into night 2, which of course will be headlined by the British Heavyweight Championship match and Kazuchika Okada and Taiji. And then we head the following week into Osaka for 4 championship matches and so much more. But until then, that's all I have to say for now on Night 1 Sapporo. I thought it was a really good show. I don't really grade NJPW because, well, NJPW never disappoints me, even if it makes me say, you son of a bitch, especially like Kenta did at Wrestle Kingdom. But those are the type of moments you kind of want to get as a wrestling fan, to again react to bleed pleasantly surprised, and to build stories. And that is just some of the great strengths of my favorite promotion, New Japan Pro Wrestling. So with that being said, thank you for tuning in. If you all saw Night 1, I would love to hear your thoughts, comments, questions, and anything you want to take away from that too. And if you want to know more about me, know this. I'm just a simple man. And if you haven't figured it out by now, I think it's pretty obvious. I am a lifelong fan of wrestling, not just sports entertainment. That's for you, James Hubert. Follow them on the folks in the Wrestling Rundown and Waymath Wrestling League. So if you want to follow me and talk to me about anything wrestling, the 5 brands of WWE or NJPW or Ring of Honor or AEW or Stardom or New Japan Pro Wrestling or Pro Wrestling Noah or Impact Wrestling or Independent Wrestling in general, Sport Pro Wrestling folks, and so much more, you can look me up on Twitter. NoDQ.com/Noah takes to my Twitter page or at nfoster1916 for those that hate URLs. Also follow me on Instagram, #SomeManInLife at nfoster1916. I'll give you a nice hello. My moments, thoughts, takeaways, upcoming things I plan on doing, watching, seeing, predicting, or graphing in wrestling. As I am a member of Team NoDQ, Team NoDQ, and the NX team, and I keep track of all the leagues. It's one of my favorite reasons that I love to use Microsoft Excel. But I do love a good PowerPoint presentation. Shout out to you, Drew Gulak. Speaking of which, please follow my YouTube channel here, youtube.com/user/NoahFoster210. At the heart of it, you'll find my series, #205matters, that I do more often now on bi-weekly occasions because college and work is exhausting. But I do want to try and get back to the weekly thing as 205 Live further evolves and merges into the NXT banner. Please stay tuned, by the way, for a special double feature episode, if not today, tomorrow, of 205 Live Matters that we'll be discussing last week's episode, the previous week's episode, and, of course, the incredible match and revolution of the Cruiserweight division, in my opinion, that happened at Worlds Collide. But also, I will be back tomorrow night, Sunday for sure, with a simple take of Night 2, as well as predictions on Osaka. Maybe with others. We'll see. Hey, you want to join me? Just let me know. DM me on Twitter or Instagram. But also, yeah, everything here has 205 Matters, everything in a nicely organized playlist for you. New content every week. Speaking about doing an AEW live simple take for my first ever live experience, I might do that later next week. Only time will tell. All comes down to time. Anyway, if you haven't figured out by now, also the reason I'm even on YouTube, support NoDQ. The reason I got into YouTube, forever indebted to the NoDQ family. Thank you, Aaron Rift and company. Buy a shirt, buy a mug, buy a tapestry. Heck, I have a shirt. I know, right? Kind of crazy. It's just Mountain Dew related too. I love it. Tapestry, sticker, mug. Support my friends. Support me. Support NoDQ. Just do it. We appreciate it. NoDQ.com/Merrick takes you to the store. Follow NoDQ.com and all your social media platforms. Your opinions matter. There's a comment section and everything. Polls, calls, memes, gifts, reviews, recaps, so much more, and sexy female pics. You name it, it's there. Primarily WWE wrestling, a little bit of AEW and independent wrestling. And as always, I like to close. Support your wrestling outlets with big and small, and let's keep growing this incredible, diverse, unique, elite wrestling community together. Simple as that. With that being said, it is 8:11 a.m. on Saturday, January the 31st. So here's to, February 1st. I should have known that because my birthday's on February 10th. Whoopsie. Anyway, we got a lot coming up this month, including AEW Revolution, and we also have a show coming from Will I do predictions on it? Only time will tell. Yep. Only time will tell. But until then, thank you so much for tuning in to this simple take, and stay tuned again for tomorrow. And please let me know your thoughts. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, tell a friend, hit that bell to know when the next video goes live, and hit the subscribe button to help me grow this channel. It's not about me, it's about wrestling, but hey, if I can reach out to more people for wrestling, that's awesome. I love doing that. So until next time, I am just the simple man of NoDQ, Noah Foster. Take care, enjoy life. Tomorrow's never guaranteed. Treasure your family, treasure the moments you have with them. Boy, it's been a crazy month in January too, where that statement really hits to the heart. And until the next video, or the next time I might see you on social media, I hope you all have a wonderful day, as it's broad daylight here, and I have a tax appointment in an hour. So with that, Gokigenyo, sayonara.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
What do you have to do to beat the Rainmaker? That wasn't a star-studded performance. I don't know what was. I think that right there was the definition of a new beginning. Good evening, everybody. Now, I'm just a simple man, coming home from prior obligations, as you can see, and my name is Noah Foster, and welcome once again to another Simple Take. As we are now removed a little bit under 24 hours from NJPW, The New Beginning in Sapporo, Night 2. This is just my brief takeaway, recaps, thoughts, and overall analysis on what we saw as we head towards the final day of the New Beginning tour next weekend in Osaka. And yes, of course, I will be doing a Civil Take on that and predictions live on my YouTube channel. Please stay tuned. Anyway, so basically we start off with the following. If I can find my notes here. I have to find them. Give me a moment. I just got home, by the way, too, and my voice is gone. Botch. All right, everybody. Let's see here. Notes list. Okay, here we go. So basically, we start off with the first match of Toa Hanare versus, Yoshitashi. And again, Toa Hanare, he's trying to prove a point how he is ready to move on from the Young Lion class. And basically, he once again proved it here. It events a very game Young Lion. As again, these Young Lions show aggressiveness. There's some mid holds. Beautiful drop kicks, by the way. Some of the best drop kicks I've seen. And he even speared him at one point. But of course, Hanare, he came back and he won. And he just slammed him down. I forget the name of the finisher. Apologies. Chris Charleston does so well, but I can't remember everything he says. I'm still learning all these moves myself for some of these people. Anyway, Toa Hanare won, but he also makes a very bold statement in the end. He says that he's claimed that he's ready. He's done with the young boys. He wants Shingo. He remembered his first taste of Shingo, and he liked it, and he wants more of it. Now Shingo is the never openweight champion. Possibilities are endless and unlimited for him. Yes, I know I just made a Sonic Unleashed reference. Good game, good soundtrack. And basically, he says he wants to go after the neverweight champion. He's ready to move on from Young Lions to, well, the heavyweights. Will that happen? I do not know. I've been out all day, as you can tell. Talking a lot, too. Anyway, our next match was Yuya Uemura, Tamaki Homa, and Toge Makabe versus Manabu Nakanishi, Tiger Mask, and Hiroshi Tenzan. A very aggressive six-man tag that brought more than I initially perceived. But in the end, Uemura and Tiger Mask was really the story here, as of course, Uemura and Tiger Mask, they are like a teacher-student relationship, and it's been told through the backstage interviews and banters that some people are disappointed that Uemura is not showing that ruthless aggression to take the next step, to really impress his teacher, Tiger Mask, per se. And basically, it really picked up when these two were in the ring, exchanging with one another. There was a submission hold, but then Nakanishi, he comes in, he tries to chop down Uemura, who had Tiger Mask's submission hold. He would not let go for anything. Anyway, following that, Nakanishi, he eventually allows, the submission hold to be broken up, and then we get the underhook superplex, ridiculous I might add, from Tiger Mask, and then a Tiger suplex, nobody kicks out, 1, 2, 3, Tiger Mask's team picks up the win, and then a very humbling statement and farewell for Nakanishi, who of course knows his time's about up. This is his retirement tour, of course, and he, of course, thanked all the people, as that would be the last time he ever performs in that city. A very nice six-way tag, and I think Uemura is really showing a lot of promise. But again, only time will tell for the rest. And now we move on to a very unique one-on-one showcase, as established name now fully resets himself, Gabriel Kidd versus ELP. Both of these men are well known for the UK scene. ELP, of course, making his statement last year and just basically one of the top tier stars in New Japan Pro Wrestling. And now you have Gabriel Kidd, who's trying to come in and basically do it up with everybody in New Japan Pro Wrestling, going through the LA Dojo system under, of course, Shibata and the brutal training regimen that goes with it. A complete reset. Not a bad match here, but truly this was just ELP bullying showcase. You got all the typical spots with ELP going old school, walking across the ropes. He, of course, made sure he's not going to have children. I'm surprised that move doesn't get him DQ. And basically, Kidd, he got one good bit of offense in with a drop kick and Boston Crab. But unfortunately, his Boston Crab, and again, this is just part of the experience bit, too close to the ropes. So ELP was able to immediately get out of there. And then following that, ELP, he won later on with a splash. That was it. But of course, to add a statement, because he is Bullet Club, and insult to injury, what does he do afterwards? He hits him with the CR2. So even though, hey, we're from the same country, we should be buds, help me. ELP, only in for himself. Simple as that. Moving on from there, we get a preview of the six-man Never Openweight Championship picture, as we have Robbie Eagles, Tomohiro Ishii, and Hiroki Goto, who will be challenging for the six-man Never Openweight Championships later on this week during the New Beginning Tour before Osaka. They face, of course, the current champs in Bushi, goodbye Chris's favorite person, Evo, Chris Mason's favorite person, and of course, the newly crowned Never Openweight Champion, I could not be happier about that, in Shingo Takagi. And this match was everything I expected, as it was, of course, Ishii and Evil, who seem destined to destroy each other. They start this off with a furious start. Evil trying to do everything he can to get the best of Ishii after losing to him the previous night. And basically it all breaks down, and not just these two men. But then eventually we get Shingo and Goto into it, as Shingo, of course, teases Goto that, hey, I have this now. And, of course, Shingo, he just wants to beat the daylights out of everybody. They go for it a little while, and then eventually we get Goto getting the advantage with Shingo. He gets Teddy Ishii, and then I was like, hey, I can look forward to this match, and I hope this happens. G1 throwback people, as it was Shingo and Ishii exchanging brutally forearm smashes that would knock any normal man flat on his ass with one shot. But following that, it really came down to a wicked headbutt, and then finally we get Robbie Eagles and Bushi. A story in itself, as Bushi, some people would view probably the weakest member right now of the 6-man Neverweight Tag Team Champions. Not to mention a guy that Robbie Eagles has defeated before in tag action. And it happened again here as Robbie Eagles got the best of Bushi with a 450 splash on the leg and then Robert's special. And as I was trying to get broken up, everybody came in, they got brainbustered, and then Stereo Ushi Goroshi pretty much. And following that, Bushi had no choice but to tap out, so Team Chaos goes in with some momentum towards their championship match later this week. Now, will they become new 6-man Never Openweight Tag Team Champions? The belts that I figure are the most relevant in New Japan, considering they only defend it like 5 times a year. I don't know. And considering Shingo right now is a double champ with the Never Openweight 6-man Tag Blue and the classic Never Openweight Red belt, and of course he wants to elevate these belts in his own way, through his own spirit, channeling the spirit of Never. I honestly feel like LIJ should keep the belts at this point, and I do hope they do more of them than the previous champs. I'm pretty sure half the time Toriano didn't even know where he put the belt. Anyway, moving on from there. Okay, I gotta say right now, up to this point, this undercard was meh. Boy, did it kick up here, but I gotta be honest, I really didn't care about 6 men in this match. I only cared about 2. You see the shirt. You've heard me on this channel if you've watched me before. I am a little biased. I have my favorite faction. I have my favorite smaller faction, but my favorite faction, it is the brutally hard-hitting, aggressive, technical, don't give a damn about anything attitude in Suzuki-gun, led of course by their leader, Casa Ninare, in the King, Minoru Suzuki. And boy, did he took control of this match. Okay. So basically, it is an 8-man tag. It is Chaos versus Suzuki-gun, as we're also previewing not only the United States Championship match coming up, but the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. And then you got the coach there, because Rocker Romero's off doing work in America during the USA New Beginning Tour. Oh, by the way, spoiler alert, we have new IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. It only seems to be a curse for them one day a year. Any other day they can get it done, especially with the help of Jado. God is once again IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, and in my opinion, not a bad team to deserve it. But seriously, they need to grow their tag team division, in my opinion. Anyway, this match, oh my gosh, boy did it pick up as Moxley was coming for the audience, and Suzuki met him head on, and literally it was a tale of 2 matches. Typical Suzuki-gun start as everything broke down at ringside, but we focused more on what's going on in the crowd as everybody was in danger because Minoru Suzuki and John Moxley were fighting the hell out of each other throughout the audience. Eventually, they finally get towards the ring, and we get ridiculous biting. Ouch. And following that, there's dual submissions on Roppongi 3K by their upcoming challengers from Suzuki-gun in El Desperado and Yoshinobu Kanemaru, the heel master. But then again, who cared about this? I didn't. It was really like you could have used camera by camera, side-by-side action. No offense to everybody else here. But all I wanted to just keep seeing them fight forever. I just wanted to keep seeing Minoru Suzuki and John Moxley beat the tar out of each other. I freaking loved it. And basically it continued here as we saw not once, not twice, not 3, but 4 times pretty much, these two wailing into one another. 5 times if you count the aftermath. Anyway, Moxley and Suzuki, they exchange in the ring. Forearm for forearm, strikes for strikes, and basically Suzuki is laughing in Moxley's face. And as Moxley is about to go for basically a wind-up shot, he gives him the double bird. And then Suzuki goes and tries to break his hands. Go figure. Anyway, following this, the two take each other out with boots eventually. And by the way, John Moxley still sporting that eye patch thanks to the actions of Le Champion. It almost came off in this match. Anyway, as those two were finally taken out, Moxley and Suzuki, they are still fighting each other outside the freaking ring. And then we get a spirit dropkick combination from one of the other competitors in the ring. But then Moxley and Suzuki, they come back into the ring later on after the other 6 men take each other out. and basically they slapping the daylights out of each other, continuing to exchange in the middle of the ring. You thought you were going to get history repeated, where we thought we were going to see Costa Padre right after a quick sleeper hold. Nope. The fighting kept continuing, exchange. They both took each other out of the ring. They're still fighting. It comes down now basically to the coach, who tried to basically play resolve here, because again, Moxley was on Team Chaos, and both Moxley and Suzuki knocked the coach's lights out, knocked him back to the ring. They didn't give a damn. Basically, the coach was in a 3-on-1 situation against Suzuki-gun. It was not looking good for him. But in the end, Roppongi 3K, they did play the difference makers, and of course they took care of their tag team challengers, kept them at bay, and once again the coach picked up the win for his team, pinning Dookie, of all people, which shouldn't surprise anybody. In case I didn't say it, the teams were Yasushi Taguchi, Roppongi 3K, Shonyo, sing it Cindy, and their partner John Moxley versus Suzuki-guns, Duka, Yoshinobu Kamaro, El Desperado, and Minoru Suzuki. A couple of times that steel pipe came into play too. He almost took Taguchi's head off. Not enough though, because once again, the obvious guy you think would take the fall, he did. But of course, this match was not over, because what continued to happen? Suzuki and Moxley still fighting each other. These two are going to have 60 minutes. I better see these two beat the living tar of each other for at least 35 minutes come Osaka. Loved it. And of course, they're still fighting all the way to the back area as Taguchi took the IWGP United States Championship. I'm sure he gave it back to Moxley. I have not looked at the backstage interviews yet, if they're up on NJPWWorld.com. Anyway, moving on from there, after all that madness, they talk about, of course, all the tour dates coming up. First time ever, according to Chris Charlton, in over 22 years for some of these cities. Congrats to them. In Hokkaido, as they have a major tour of New Japan Pro Wrestling coming up in Hokkaido in July. So I hope they all enjoy that, and congratulations to New Japan Pro Wrestling on, of course, achieving that, as they continue to grow and expand and showcase the best in professional wrestling through the king of sports streaming. Anyway, this next match was a 3-on-3 6-man tag between LIJ and Chaos, as you had the former IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion from long ago, by the way, I believe this time last year, because he beat excuse me, the Bone Soldier Tashimori, and his partners, of course, are Jay White and the most hated man in Japan, Sonata. They, of course, were facing Ticking Time Bomb Hiromu Tanahashi, current IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, and his partners, of course, Cold Skull Sonata and the double champ himself, Tetsuya Naito. And this match was everything I expected it to be, as of course it was a tale of two matches, but also Ishimori trying to get his name back in the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship picture, and he ended up, of course, eating the fall here. The match basically started off with Kenta and Naito going after each other, Kenta getting better of Naito, showing childish tattoos, coming down, just waiting for the aura of booze that he just loves to be the lead conductor of. We get a dropkick DDT combination later on, and then Ishii gets caught in a Paradise Lock. Good job, Sonata. And basically we get Sonata and Jay White, a preview of their match as both men jockey for position here. But then Ishii comes into play, saves Jay White would get a hot tag, as Jay White kept working over Sonata's leg because Naito was incapacitated, thanks to Kenta. Ishii is then met in the middle by Sonata. We get exchanges of kicks and knee strikes, and hot tag by Naito, who took control of this match. Close to a near fall, but in the end, Ishimori couldn't pull it off for the team. And of course, Gedo, he had to try and come into play again. Instead of getting, rope to the groin, he got a chair to the face that he tried to bring in. Crazy of Sonata. And Sonata picks up the win for this team with a yes luck counter from Ishimori into, of course, the skull end. Afterwards, of course, you see Kenta and Naito playing mind games with each other. And of course, Jay White bellowing, "Yeah, you won this match just like one New Year's Dash, but think about this. You didn't pin me. It's going to be 1-1 against me. It's going to be a much different result in Osaka. You wait and see." And of course, if you follow Bullet Club and follow Jay White, he's a man that usually not only keeps his word, he backs it up. So, I'm very curious about two things. Let me talk about this about the previous match. Coach, he's really doing very well picking up wins in place of Rocky Romero. I think he has a better win-loss record overall than Rocky Romero. Go figure. And I wonder if he's going to throw his name eventually towards the United States picture. Would you want to see Taguchi versus John Moxley? I think that would be interesting. And as far as Roppongi 3K, right now they got the momentum against Suzuki-gun. We'll see if they can hold up, because again, Suzuki-gun did win those titles back at the anniversary show, nearly held them for a year. I think history could repeat itself, but I do hope upon a free case, since they did prove they can hold the titles at least for one defense last year, maybe they can do it again, and maybe they'll wait on a change to an anniversary show. But again, they need a deeper tag team picture, more than ever before, for both divisions. And along with that, as far as this match goes, Ishimori, I honestly wonder if Ishimori and ELP are going to continue as a tag team this year, or are they going to go their separate ways to pursue singles career? I can see ELP going to have the British Heavyweight Championship, since it's the British Cruiserweight Heavyweight Championship, especially after what we're going to talk about soon, which probably was my match of the night. And also, Ishimori is trying to get back the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, and I'm sure if ELP and Ishimori butt heads over that title, maybe they'll both be in the New Japan Cup, I can see it all breaking down. Then you got Sonata, who had such momentum last year, and based on the results of the match in Osaka, could that lead to something big for him, or even participating in the New Japan Cup? He was on the banner, but I guess only time will tell. Anyway, moving on from there, we go into what truly was a match of the night and history in the making, as we had an all-British Heavyweight Championship affair under New Japan Pro Wrestling for the Rev Pro British Heavyweight Championship. Some people call it the Zack Sabre title. And this match proved it again. I feel like they could do British rounds with this type of title, and still Zack Sabre Jr. would win. The elusiveness and overall counter-effectiveness of Zack Sabre Jr. is uncanny, and you would think Ospreay would have the advantage in both speed and power. He did for several spots, but it just wasn't enough. There was filling out for several rounds here, as both men exchanged not only strikes, not only submission holds, but at one point they were going roll for roll, corner to corner, cover for cover. I could not keep track of this. I don't know how anybody can. Basically, following this, we get Ospreay grounded by Zack Sabre Jr., thus controlling the pace and putting the match in his favor. Because if you ground Ospreay, he can't fly, he can't get that speed. When Ospreay goes from 0 to 100, he's hard to stop or control. And then we get a bit of a test of strength after this between the two. And basically, Zack Sabre Jr., he kept down Will Ospreay to a degree. Ospreay tried to keep Zack Sabre Jr. down, even putting his own weight upon his body, but Zack Sabre Jr., he remained bridged. So again, do not underestimate the strength of Zack Sabre Jr. and that body. Good grief. Vegan warrior, just like Ali. I like Ali. Anyway, hope she wrestles again soon at AEW. Hope she's not injured. Following this, we get, like I said, the Rofus exchange. And by the way, Reshu's Umino was the ref for this match, not a ref pro referee. Anyway, there was a Rana, and then Zack Sabre Jr., he traps the arm after Will Ospreay tries to go for one of his patented moves. So much of Will Ospreay's signature offense was countered against Zack Sabre Jr. Again, like you said, this match was, 7 years in the making he's been waiting to get this title? He truly put it all out here. Tiltsware into a ground cobra, which is a submission hold that Zack Sabre Jr. has not used for a while. I believe the last time he used that was against Ishii to even win the title. Nearly got Ospreay into it. Ospreay got to the ropes. Rope break. He was very fortunate as he almost had his arms tied up. Anyway, moving on, we get snapmares, counter for counter, and multiple times Zack Sabre Jr., he gets knocked out, but he also delivers his own PK, as the story told in this match. Will Ospreay worked over Zack Sabre Jr.'s legs, trying to counter his submission specialty, or basically ground him. And to a degree, it played a lot in this match. But these two, of course, were huge egos. While they were even sitting down at one point in a figure-4 leg lock led by Ospreay, and Zack Sabre Jr. trying to fight out of it, they're just slapping the daylights out of each other across the face. But then one shot, paintbrush Zack, he was out cold. Ospreay continues to work the legs, but of course, Zack Sabre Jr., he does make it to the ropes. Following this, we get a Hell Neuro suplex from Will Ospreay, almost like his Tiger special. But then 3 ridiculous PKs with injured legs by Zack Sabre Jr. that basically wore out Will Ospreay as he started to breathe heavy. Once again, his endurance being tested here. And this match went almost twice as long as the freaking G1 Climax match. This was at least 30 minutes. An incredible technical showcase, and I am going to rewatch it again once I'm done with this review. Bar none. Anyway, following this, we get Oscutter, but Zack Sabre Jr. ingeniously immediately rolls out the ring. Will Ospreay could not do it. Of course, that gives Zack Sabre Jr. up to 20 seconds to recover himself, and he did. He then goes for his Clucky Cat submission that basically submitted Tomohiro Ishii for him to get the title. Came this close to locking it in, but Ospreay got to the ropes. Following this, he goes for his patented European clutch. Double Nelson, fold over, could not do it. And then we get a ridiculous shooting star press by Will Ospreay. He goes for the Hidden Blade, could not stick it. because, again, Zack Sabre Jr. tied up his arms. And then he gets power slammed for his troubles. Both men down. As we get towards the end of this match, unfortunately, he finally goes for his ace in the hold the Os cutter. And truly, many people that I talked to on Twitter, they believe that could have been the one move that could have gave Ospreay the title. Unfortunately, Zack Sabre Jr.'s ingenious offense to this and just awareness, he immediately counters this into a double type submission hold and then folding the fingers, dropping the relation to the point. Will Ospreay does not tap out, but he cannot use anything. Cannot get to the ropes. He cannot use his arms. He refused to tap out verbally. It was through ref stoppage that Zack Sabre Jr. retained the British Heavyweight Championship in a match for the ages. You think about January giving us so many incredible matches of the year candidates so far. This is my first right now for February. What an incredible back and forth match. Of course, he, cocky as ever, he tells Ospreay, "Not yet, mate, not yet. Where are the challenges? Where are the challenges?" So that poses two questions. Are we going to get this match again? Is Will Ospreay going to go after Zack Sabre Jr. again? Who will challenge Zack Sabre Jr.? Will Stormberger be the difference to take this title off him? And also, Zack Sabre Jr. is still British Heavyweight Champion. He's going to throw his name in the New Japan Cup, try to win that again, and take on Okada or even Naito? What does the future hold for both these incredible British technical all-round wrestlers? I cannot wait to find out, but this was truly a match to remember and worth watching again. Will Ospreay, nothing to be sad about in defeat. Zack Sabre Jr., gloat, 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 gloat. Long-lived Sabreism, strong style dead, as you were. Then we go to a match that was apparently 12 years in the making, as it seemed like just a horrible, bitter grudge. Botch. I'm African Botch Mania. Anyway, this match was very unexpected from an effort standpoint, especially by Taiji, who I strongly believe in. But really, this all stems back to when Okada, he basically got over Taiji, and Taiji's been basically had the question in his head, why not me? Because Okada took that bold chance against the ace of New Japan, pulled off the shocker, and ascended to greatness as one of the best professional wrestlers of all time. And basically, Taiji, he does not get none of that. He was left in adulation, dark sheep, dark horse, whatever you want to call it. And basically, he was out to prove a point here, to beat Okada and wonder why this isn't me, this should be me, in the Okada spot, getting the Okada adulations, etc., etc., etc. Because again, 12 years ago, Taiji beat Okada when he just came from Excursion in less than 10 minutes. This match almost quadrupled that time. As the story of this match, first of all, is what was the state of Okada after the brutal beatdown by Taiji the previous night. Wasn't great, as he had tape all across his upper neck and shoulder area. And every move that he basically did, including his running body splash over the barricade to the drop kicks that drop him on his high back and spine, he felt them, and it hurt badly. By the way, once again, star-making performance by Taiji, of course, new music video, and Miho Abe in tow. I wonder if Miho Abe thought about all of this. But again, she just worships Taiji. Anyway, the match really kicked off when Okada, he flew, but he caused whiplash to his neck, and you could tell that he was feeling it. And then we get a backdrop suplex from Taiji that really sucked. And at this point, Taiji, he blew a gasket as he once again tried to strangle Okada. Not once, not twice, but 3 times in the span of 15 seconds. Really pushing Red Shoes Uno to almost DQ him, but he did not. Eventually, of course, Okada, he gets back in the ring, and he takes control. But Miho Abe, she's used as basically a defense by Taiji. Would you expect anything less? And this allows him to pull off a shotgun dropkick, but not from where you would think, as we almost had a repeat of previous last night as they met on the ramp, and it looked like he was going to do Black Mephisto. He countered, and he shotgun dropkicked Taiji all the way down the ramp to ringside, while landing really hard, again, on his neck and upper back on the hard rampway. So really, who got the worst of that? You be the judge. Anyway, following this, things really picked up when, by the way, Yoshinobu Kanemaru on commentary at ringside. And by the way, as soon as the match started, Taiji tried to use the Iron Glove of Isuka. Denied. That Iron Glove almost came into play like 3 times here, to the point Okada was about to use it. I was like, Okada, you are messing with forces that mere men, even you, are not meant to mess with. Instead, he gives it to Red Shoes, which of course upsets Kanemaru, because he's like, hey, that's property of Suzuki Gun, you get that back. And because of this ref distraction, damn, he bashed and broke a chair over the top of Okada's head, bar none, after the glove distraction. And then, of course, one of my favorite moments, sorry, Garza, he does it better. Taiji does it better, simple as that. The pants come off, and that's when you know the match has just gone into a new level of aggression and intensity. As Taiji has one of the strongest performances I can remember, to the crowd getting behind him. And truth be told, this is his home turf, but I digress. Anyway, as the match progressed, there was a ridiculous neck wrench. You think Okada would pass out, be another ref stoppage. No. But he does also remove the tape, thus furthering the damage he was causing to this area. Ouch. Anyway, snap backdrop suplex again and again. So lethal and dangerous. Incredible offense pulled up by Taiji, controlling the Rainmaker, even pulling off a third one with a bridge for a near fall. Still not enough. And then he gets dropkicked by Okada, Taiji down. And then finally we get, of course, the panorama camera shot, no Rocky Romero on sight, and not one, but two Rainmakers as he continues to control Taiji. And then following this, as he goes for picking him up for the third and ultimate Rainmaker, he distracts the ref, basically pushes the ref to the corner, ref to see anything. Inadvertent dreaded low blow to Okada, near fall. I thought he freaking had him on the Gato clutch. I thought we were going to have the shocker of new beginning right now. Still could come, but it did not come at this moment. Anyway, Kuragure kick, which is of course one of the most lethal kicks Taiji's known for, because Taiji is an incredibly hard striker with some of the hardest kicks in the game, including the buzzsaw kick. And we get a last ride powerbomb into another near fall. Taiji comes this close. Again, this is probably Taiji's best performance I've ever seen him do, to date. Following this, though, we get a ridiculous spinning Rainmaker and then a counter kick by Taiji, both men down. But, of course, as Taiji tries to go for Black Mephisto, Okada gets him finally, and both these men were jockeying so much. Okada gets him finally with pile driver and a Rainmaker, and Okada wins. Damn it. All I can say is this. Right now, Okada, he's in a state where he's not champion. So right now, he's just wrestling and going to have fun with what he's doing. He doesn't really seem right now that he has so much pressure under him anymore, and he feels like he can kind of take it easy with all the pressure being on Naito having all the gold. Does he want to be champion again? Yes. But right now, he just seems relaxing and having fun. Go figure. Anyway, Taiji, though, if Taiji is still asking why not me, he needs to stop, because that performance right there, shenanigans aside, proved that Taiji can be a top contender star in New Japan Pro Wrestling, can become champion caliber, and can definitely hold up with the best of them, as he held up with Okada for nearly 40 minutes. This was an absolutely incredible match. I could not be more proud of the Holy Emperor of Suzuki-gun. But with that being said, that basically concluded the Naz Okada, of course, send the Okada crowd happy. He said he'll be back and he's going to make it rain. And that concludes it as we now head down the road of New Beginning to, of course, the culmination of it all in Osaka, where we'll have 4 championship matches, and who knows what our moments, surprise, and sadness will await us as we head towards not only the anniversary show and Nakanishi's retirement, and also Tiger Torres' retirement at New Japan Pro, but also, as you know, next month, the New Japan Cup is back, and who knows what sort of surprises and breakout stars in the making will come. We got Lance Armstrong last year. Who could it be this year? But with that being said, those are my brief thoughts, takeaways, analysis, and overall excitement and thankfulness for NJPW, The New Beginning, in Sapporo, Night 2. As I am a member of Team NoDQ, I'm happy to say that I am in second place. Good brother Chris, you're doing very well. And if you don't follow us already, if you want to look for passionate wrestling fans that just enjoy talking wrestling, whether on camera, social media, etc., please follow my friends. Cindy G, Cypher Cass, good brother Christopher Willis, The Holiday Chris Mace, The Archangel James Huber, and of course, Mark the Griff Reviews. We watch everything from NWA to Ring of Honor to New Japan Pro Wrestling to AEW to Impact Wrestling and so much more. And of course, the heart of it, we support independent wrestling. Support independent wrestling, folks, because that's where it all starts. But until the next video, if you want to know more about me personally, know this. I'm just a simple man. And if you haven't figured out by now, by the background especially, I am a lifelong fan of wrestling. So if you want to follow me and talk anything wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling, which is my number one, or the 5 brands of WWE, or AEW, Ring of Honor, Impact, Stardom, Pro Wrestling Noah. I could go on and on. There's so much wrestling. I watch more wrestling than I can track anymore. And of course, Independent Wrestling at the heart of it. Support pro wrestling, folks. Look me up on Twitter. NoDQ.com/Noah takes to my Twitter page. Or follow me on Instagram at nfoster1916, hashtag #SupermanInLife. I'll give you a nice hello, moments, thoughts, predictions, takeaways in wrestling, and who knows what else. But it's always a fun time. And also, please follow my simple YouTube channel here, youtube.com/user/NoahFoster210. You'll find all sorts of wrestling content here, new content every week. Nice media and nice players for you. At the heart of my series, hashtag 205 Live Matters. I am ready to get out of this suit from my obligations earlier. But I just wanted to get this done before I went to bed. But anyway, if you haven't figured out by now, also the reason I do this, support NoDQ. The reason I got into YouTube, forever indebted to the NoDQ family. Thank you, Aaron Riffin Company. Buy a t-shirt. I have a t-shirt. It's Mountain Dew related. Nah. Buy a shirt. Buy a tapestry. Buy a sticker. Support my friends. Please. Just do it. NoDQ.com/merch. Take you to the store. Follow NoDQ.com on all your social media platforms. Your opinions matter. There's a comment section and everything on the official website. Polls, columns, memes, gifts, reviews, recaps, special news, who knows what else. Oh yeah, sexy female pics. You name it, it's there. Primarily wrestling from WWE with a little bit of independent wrestling and AEW. And again, this channel will have New Japan Pro Wrestling, New Beginning, Osaka predictions within the coming 24 hours. And I might be doing it with others. Stay tuned. And also, we will be doing predictions as part of Team NoDQ for Crunchy Redacted, Super Showdown, as well as part of Team NoDQ, AEW Revolution, and part of the NXT TakeOver Portland. There's a lot of wrestling coming up in February, and some that I kind of wish wasn't happening, but it is what it is. And as always, I'd like to close. Support your wrestling outlets big and small, and let's keep growing this incredible, diverse, unique, elite, apologetic, authentic wrestling community together. Simple as that. With that being said, thank you for tuning in. What are your takeaways, your thoughts, your moments from so far the New Beginning Tour, or Sapporo as a whole? What do you hope to see in Osaka? Please let me know in the comments down below. I love interacting with good-hearted, passionate people about wrestling, in any way, shape, or form whatsoever. So please, like, share, subscribe, comment, hit that bell to know when the next video is going to go live. Please hit the subscribe button to help me grow this channel. And if you want to do a Simply Predictive Wrestling video with me or have a simple chat in wrestling, just reach out to me. I'd love to have you, love to do something with you. On camera or audio, doesn't matter. Whatever you feel comfortable in. Just enjoy wrestling. So until the next video, enjoy life, enjoy the ones you have around you, because tomorrow's never guaranteed. Treasure the moments you make today and what could come tomorrow if we're fortunate to see it. And take care, and until next time, which again will be predictions in Osaka, I thank you all for your time. Genyo, sayonara, and of course, have a good night. What a wild, wild year it has been so far for New Japan Pro Wrestling. Woofa!